Broadcasting from a little island in Canada called Montreal. Broadcasting from a little island in Canada called Montreal to the world in the rockradio.ca.
Well, sometimes it goes smooth, sometimes it doesn't. What can I tell you?
Did you happen to notice there? Oh my God! Sitting back at our music there, it went to this a nice pace.
Yeah.
And isn't it my mind? All of a sudden, it went kind of slow.
It slowed down a bit.
Anyway, hi Bling.
That's why, with the new service provider I'm looking for when we move into the new studios, I want to make sure that I got a strong circuit going through there, man.
Yeah.
This lagging and stuff sucks. Anyways, folks, welcome to Indie Scene with Bling and Junior. We're back for more havoc and more bullshit, craziness. Fuck, man, we weren't here last week, and I really missed it, man. I've been working my ass off so much. And tonight,
we're trying to get caught up with everything in our lives and whatnot because of. So yeah, it's anyway. We missed everybody and whatever. I guess we were just anyway. How dare us be human? But hello. Hey, before I forget though, a quick shout out to people like Sandra McCrae, Steve Swift, and a whole bunch of people that have been joining us and whatnot. So a shout out to the fans is what I want to say.
Fanaliskis and Roxy's in the house and Christina all the way from the Philippines. Here, let's just put them up quick there.
Yeah.
15 minutes of fame. Hi, Roxy. Welcome to the show.
Without the fans, we are nobody.
We are just a nothing. We are just like a little snail that moves along the ground.
Yes.
Yes. And here we go. Christina Flores. Hello. All the way down in the Philippines. Tuned into the show here tonight. Big hugs from all of me and Junior over here. And, okay, so, man, lots of stuff going on. I don't know if you've heard, Junior, you are very safe in Ontario, but there has been some major political bullshit going on over here in Quebec. I gotta speak out about this because it's just madness. It is.
So what's happening? Tell me.
As you know, we live in a province where we have the Français de Montréal, Quebec, where they have been shouting sovereignty and all this stuff for, basically threatening to separate from Canada for many, many years due to language issues where they feel they are not getting their respect, shall we say. And this is from all the way back when the British used to treat them like second-class citizens. So it's kind of like they're seeking revenge all these years later, but it's kind of faded away with the general public on that end.
All right.
Whereas it's become more of a political anchor type of thing, where it's done a lot of damage to Quebec over here over the years, and basically Toronto and places like in Ontario and stuff have reaped all the benefits of it because a majority of our, how Canadians are. We're not going to sit there and go, fuck that. You can't take our guns and start rising up against them and stuff. They're just going to say, screw this, I'm going out west. And it's been going on there right up to St. Lawrence for many, many years. And even a port.
So what is this? What is this recent thing that's happening then?
Well, basically, it's gotten crazy. As you know, I'm leading into it. We have a law over here, only place in the world where we have a law about language, where it's called Bill 101, which means that, French should be the first language. And when it comes to signs and stuff, they've gone after big companies like Walmart and stuff, telling them that you need to change your sign to French. Well, how the hell you want me to say Walmart in French, And so they've gone after signs and stuff like that. We put up with this for like a long time or whatever. And you know what? Meanwhile, while all this stuff's going on, people who come here They embrace the culture, the fact that we are bilingual, we speak English and French, and so on, and everybody lives in peace and harmony. But the politicians got to stir the shit. So now it's gotten worse, and this is where it's gotten worse. They just recently went after the education system, where they're saying you can't educate your kids in English anymore, that they have to be educated in French. Yeah. And now we have a whole new Bill 98 or 96 or something like that. And this was on the news last week. And our premier over here, Legault, is just off his freaking rocker. And I don't know how the guy got away with it. But they passed a law that states that no longer are people allowed to speak English in their work environment.
You got to be kidding me.
Oh, no, it gets worse. Not allowed to speak English in their work environment. And not only that, but if I go to a Tim Hortons to get myself a fresh cup of coffee, they are not allowed to address me in English, even if I speak English to them. They have to serve me in French. Now, if you think that's bad, what would be the worst case scenario? What would be the worst? Like that's already taken away from your rights, your human rights and values and stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think would be worse? He also wants to pass a law saying that in my own home, I'm not allowed to speak English. My own home. Yeah, no, I'm not. The guy's off his rocker. And this law passed. And if you get caught talking English in your working environment, guess what you get if you get caught?
Oh, there's some kind of a fine or some
$5,000 fine. A $5,000 fine.
Oh.
Yeah. So welcome to Quebec. Wonderful people. And you know what's funny? They've been bringing people in here over the years trying to build up like the votes for the separatism and all that stuff by simply bringing in people from second language French countries like Haiti, Morocco, Algeria, all those places. And what happens is these immigrants come here to Quebec and realize how much taxes we pay and how much bullshit there is. And they say, well, I'm nobody's fool. They move out west to Calgary or places like Toronto and stuff, and they make a life for themselves. So they're in like Flynn and just like, you can deal with your politics over there, but not realizing that they got in here because of that. That's why Quebec is the only province that has its own immigration board, eh?
Oh,
yeah, man.
Back to this, even with the COVID stuff and everything that's gone on.
Yeah.
As I'm listening to you, I have one word in my head.
Yeah.
Communism.
Oh yeah, totally. And you know what? I think it's an infringement on human rights.
I love
human
your
rights. Yeah, that's my. I got clients calling here. I'm not sure what that is. I think it might be the Minions or something like that. My ringtone. I like it. I just like it. It's a humble little ringtone, and it's very recognizable. With all these dings
anyway, that's I'm glad you kind of brought it up. It's kind of I guess you and I, and we are that way. We're more positive than anything. But what a shame to hear that. And the other thing that comes to my mind right away, Bling, is well, as you know, even musically, I've supported to look at most all my career in waving the flag of Canada, regardless of what province. And I don't like. It seems like. Pardon my French. Pardon that expression too.
Pardon my French.
Well, no, but anyway, it's fucking separating us more and more. And let's talk rock and roll. Unless you got something else to say.
Well, hey, listen, before we end this or whatever, I'm just going to tell you. My brother said the best line. He says, "You know what? Maybe Canada should get together and want to separate from Quebec and see what happens."
Well.
Makes sense. Anyway, so we got our own issues to deal with in Canada with Trudeau and all his crap or whatever. But, I'm trying to stay away from it all. But
yeah, I'm tired of shaking my head. I don't know what the fuck and whatever is. I did see a thing. Well, you know what? I thought it was very, very true because of not just Quebec, but Canada, and even we are very high tax province, Ontario. But a lot of people are fucking off to Mexico.
That's it.
So you got to wonder what the heck and whatever. So, but anyway.
Listen,
so I have a couple of music things I want to bring up before we bring our guest on, just as a reminder.
Okay,
there.
before we do that, we got a couple of responses here on our Facebook.
Yeah,
page.
let's get to those.
And okay, so basically we got Duita all the way from Indonesia, who's saying hello to you from Indonesia. And man, we got them from all over the world here. Okay, Gigi from the Philippines. Hello to you. Checking in once again. And our good friend Roxy, by the way, who's fully bilingual. She's as French as pea soup as I am. And and this is what she's saying. She works in a school, and she's saying, in my school, I'm not allowed to speak English either. Yeah. Yeah. So
this is what I'm talking about.
Work environment. She says even in a work environment, environment. She's making a joke, basically saying we can't say work environment; it's work environment. We have to say that in French, so it's pretty funny.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And Travis.
Whoever's on.
Hey, our good friend Ann's here, checking us out again tonight.
Hi, Ann. Yeah.
Yeah, man, this is fun. I love it when the fans check in like this. Okay, Junior, you got the floor, man. Come on, you got some information.
Yeah, you still got me kind of. I'm glad you told me about that. I only watch a little bit of news. I just haven't. Anyway, long story short, I wasn't aware of that, so I'm kind of glad you did inform me. Yeah. And now, obviously, the listeners in regards.
Obviously, you're scared about coming across the border to visit Bling here, are you?
Well, I'm in shell shock in regards to it all. So, but yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, blah, blah. So yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge this because when I brought the fans, you know what? We've talked in private. We've talked on our show, on many of our shows about it is about the fans. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to acknowledge it's kind of good and bad, but I'll explain. It was this weekend past that a year has already gone by that I did the tribute show to Mr. Phil Naro, who was in Tallis with Billy Sheehan and also Ozone Baby. So on the tribute show, we're going to have them on our show. Billy Sheehan, as I say, Mitch Perry, he plays with Cher, Michael Hunt, Steve Major. We're going to get Steve Hogue on sometime as well and all that. And then why I also bring this up about this is his name is Ron Thal Bumblefoot. He has played guitar for Guns N' Roses for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Now, why I bring that up is in putting this tribute together that they had asked when Phil passed away, Phil Naro. We had, of course, set a date like we're familiar with. And now it's a private text message coming from Ron Thal. Look, this guy's a freaking rock star. He's texting me, and he's feeling terrible because things had changed in the States and so on musically at this time. So he cannot make it, but it's so important to him. Can we do something on the Saturday? And I said, absolutely. So thanks to Troy Ellis, he did the executive producer. So we went up to his cottage, and it's on my wall there, and did a separate thing with regards to Ron Thal Bumblefoot, all in a tribute to Phil Naro and Ozone Baby and Tallis. Now, when I looked at this again, I almost can't find the words back to the fans. This had gone into Bling. Yeah. Up to 700 shares. Ooh. 700. With respect to, like, you bring up the Philippines, I could go on and on. So I don't want to digress on it too much, but I just want to say thank you so much to the fans of Phil Naro and what even we do with music and whatnot, because I'll tell you what, it sure means a lot. I speak directly to his family. These people are so touched in the memory of the great Phil Naro. And if you don't know who he is, folks, yes, he has gone to heaven, but look up any of his videos and it'll be that. On another note, before we go into our guest, we had him on our show, Mr. Miles Goodwin. So I want to give a shout out to some. I got to put my reading glasses on here. Good news, bad news. my day job, of course, as you know, moving yachts around. Good news, bad news. Bad news is I'm invited. Check this out, Bling, to 3 different shows this weekend, and I can't go.
No.
The other one, we'll get into that in a sec. The other one, we had the Monarch show. The boys in Barstow Confession. They're opening for Big Sugar, just 20 minutes from my place. That's one show. The other one is. Yeah, the other one is a shout out. Where the hell is my notes here? Yeah, here it is. Is June the 10th. It's April Wine, a sold out show. No surprise, Bling?
No surprise.
So a shout out to the promoter up there. We'll be doing some more things. He wants to talk with us sometime. Joe Bamford, he's one of the main cats at the Charles W. Stokey Center in Perry Sound, home of Mr. Bobby Orr. So that's what's going on that way.
And are we able to release that information we wanted to release last on the show?
No, not yet.
Still not yet. Oh my God!
Well,
you're killing. You tell him he's killing me.
You know it. Well, it's killing you, but that's how this game, this promoting game is played, right? So, it's going to be, from what I really said, I think he said 6 weeks prior to it. But I will say this: we're about this close to locking in a interview with Mr. Gilby Clark, another Guns N' Roses former.
Oh, by the way, who just sold 2 nights. 2 nights sold out somewhere in Ontario, I heard. So that's pretty cool. Miles Goodwin also, I was looking recently, he's getting, I think a casino or something is giving him
yes.
Rock and Roll Casino Hall of Fame Award or something like that.
Yeah, down in his home province of Nova Scotia. You're
Nova
correct.
Scotia, which is huge respect, for a guy who's from there. Definitely. All right, so look, we're going to continue on. We're going to play you a video from this amazing band that we're going to be interviewing here now. They're sitting back in the green room. Sorry, girls. Usually we have sandwiches and all kinds of cheesies and crumpets and stuff, but as I don't know who does the song, but it's one of our favorites on the station. I'm on a low budget. I'm on a low
budget. That's what I am.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're going to play a wonderful video from them. And the name of the band that we're interviewing tonight is called none other than We Should Have Been Plumbers. Now, me working in the renovations field during the day, I am going to have to dig deep and find out what this whole plumber thing is all about. Because
I can't wait. Yes.
They're scarce, and
I'm
usually
sure
make about 70 grand a world, 70 grand a year. So why they would give up plumbing for music? We'll figure it out. Anyways, we're going to play a wonderful video from them right now, and we have a choice. I'll let you do the choosing, my good friend, Mr. Junior.
All right. What do you got? Which ones do you have?
Okay.
I have notes here. I have notes. I'm hoping it's the one.
I got. Okay, we're gonna play the first one, which I hate that one. It doesn't show me the name of the video and stuff like that. Hold on, I'm gonna do some back noting here, and we have a choice between Sad and Lonely or Larger Than Life. I want to go with Sad and Lonely.
Look. No. We just got into sad shit. I want that other one.
Larger Than Life. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yes. Okay, so here we go, folks. We should have been plumbers. On IndieRockRadio.ca. Sure, we totally forgot to mention the station ID. You know what's going to happen now, Junior? Management is going to find out. We're going to be placed in burlap sacks and beaten with reeds. That's what's going to happen. Yep. I know.
We deserve it too.
Right now. And beating us with bags of seashells, crushing against my poor little soft body.
So let's try that again. Okay, so where do we work? Say it again, Bling.
At IndieRockRadio.ca. You're tuned to Indie Scene with Bling and Junior. And this, of course, is We Should Have Been Plumbers. We'll be back at you with them in just a couple of minutes. Here we go. Okay, come on, technology.
I've been running high when you're screaming my name. But let me tell you now, there are prices to fame. All you people, can't you see how your love's affecting our reality? Every time we're down, you can make it right. That makes you larger than life. Looking at the crowd, I see your body sway. Wishing I could thank you in a different way. All you people, can't you see how your love's affecting our reality? Every time we're down, you can make it right. That makes you larger than life. All you people, can't you see how your love's affecting our reality? Every time we're down, you can make it right. That makes you larger than life. Take what you can, I won't mind. Waste your time. I've already arrived. I don't need the climb. My days to roam behind me. It's just a waste of time. At the end of the line, with no one left to lean on, it's just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. All the world is sad and lonely. Everywhere I go, sad and lonely.
I'm not sad and lonely. Are you sad and lonely?
No, sad and lonely. But I like the song. The song was amazing. Listen, Junior, before we get started to our next interview here, there was a big note that was left for you here. I don't know what this is. Some sort of hair advice or something from Ann Travers or something. I don't know. Hey, Junior, if you get started getting your highlights, make sure you use the product She Moisture Jamaican Black Castor Oil Strengthen and Restore. Man, she should like write a whole commercial for this shit. And it's supposedly available, or was it peppermint apple cider vinegar, and put it overnight in your hair and look amazing. You can order it on Amazon. Okay. Thanks for the hair tips, man. All right. Without further ado, folks, let's get out of the hair stuff or whatever and get into some real stuff. And here we go. We should have been plumbers. Trying to add them to the stream. There we go.
Hello.
Hi, ladies.
And Kim. Hey, guys. How are you?
You have to first off.
Do you have any hair issues?
All kinds.
Yeah. I'm on Amazon right now. It's cool.
There we go. Me and Mel, not at all. Usually I'm more like shaven and bald type of thing, so I don't mess with the hair treatments and stuff. So welcome aboard. That was an amazing 2 videos you had there. One of them, I recognized the lyrics. It was a remake, of course, and nice job on that. But the second video, of course, the one we were just talking about, Sad and Lonely, you can't help but watch the clip. There's some personal stuff going on over there. Tell us about that video.
Well, when Jill and I were sort of writing, in the midst of writing these songs for the record, my Nan passed away, and my family's from Newfoundland, and I was in Newfoundland, and we were just going through some stuff, and of course, my Nan and Pop always had the big video camera, that actually had the VHS tape right in it, and my cousin took a lot of those, and he put them on DVDs, and we were just watching some of them, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna take this with me, just put this in my bag, take it home, and it was really nice to like go through some of that stuff, and as I was doing it, I just thought it would be like a really nice juxtaposition to that song, where you have the song that it's a little bit depressing in its content, but then you kind of pair it with just remind yourself that you're not always sad and lonely. You know what I mean? There are really good moments in life and really good times, and just have that contrast, and
there was definitely a lot of emphasis on the gentleman with the mustache and guitar. I guess that would be your grandfather, or
no? It's actually it's a long story. It's actually so my uncle, he married the lady in the white hoodie, and that is her dad's brother.
Okay.
So it's all
Isn't it great, Junior? When you always have that one friend who shows up with a guitar.
Can I pause you for a second? We've got some kind of a feedback that's going on. Is there something on in the background somewhere?
No, I don't hear anything on my end. These girls hear anything? No.
I can hear what you're talking about, Junior, but I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like a radio signal crossed with it or something.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know if it's got that in. Anyway, so
Newfoundland. I have only one answer. Aliens.
You brought up Newfoundland. I'm a Spud Islander, my dear.
There you go.
There you go.
So you would know if I said what a quahog is, you would know what that is.
Oh my, no, I'm sorry. I'm the second generation, off the island.
Okay.
She's just a wee bit away from the old ways. Just a wee bit away.
Yeah, I actually grew up in Ontario, so.
Oh yeah.
What part of Ontario? What part of Ontario?
Smiths Falls.
Oh, I know it very well. I'm on Georgian Bay. Yeah, I know. I work radio in Ottawa, so I know Smiths Falls very, very well. So
Yeah.
you have a famous golfer girl that's from that area.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
Henderson. Yeah, she's kicked
Yeah,
a
I
lot
think
of
she got
ass.
like her own sign and everything,
Well,
So
she
that's
deserves it. She's set records that are longer. I used to be a golf pro, which is why I know this as well. But anyway, more than the men. So I love her. She's been doing fabulous. So yeah, I know the area very, very well where you used to live in Smith Falls. If you're not there now.
I am not there now. No, I'm in Nova Scotia now, so I've ended up somewhere in the middle of Newfoundland and Ontario.
Yes. So
And
what
Jillian,
part of the
you're
Bruno
located all the way
are
down. She's in Vermont, Jillian.
I am. Yeah. I lived in Nova Scotia with Kim for like 12, 13 years or something. And that's where we met and played in other bands together and did all kinds of stuff. But I live in Vermont now. But I'll be heading back that way to Nova Scotia to play some shows in the fall with her, I think.
Yeah,
how'd you end up in the home of Bob Newhart?
I married somebody from Vermont, and they just brought me down here.
Larry, Daryl, and Daryl, have you used their service? Yes.
So, ladies, I pulled some notes up with regards to, because I do a lot of show prep. Bling and I have been doing this a long time. So, you know that you've been asked probably too many times with regards to the name of your band chosen. So, when I asked both Google and Siri, we should have been plumbers. The first thing that came up was, if you have a plumbing emergency, to call this number. Follow me, okay? Follow me now.
Yeah.
I like this.
So the next in line, you'll be very probably proud to say, if you look it up yourself, happens to be your guys' band and what you guys have been doing. So right back to as far as, if I'm not mistaken, to an original name. And is this a theme going on, if I'm correct? Like a Motorcycle was another band that you were in?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
Oh, okay.
The questions.
Kim and I seem to tend towards really verbose names.
Well, this is why I'm saying it's such a challenge. You're correct in what you're saying there with regards to Jillian about how many questions. But like I say, and everybody does that. Have you ever Googled your own name and see what comes up? I mean, a lot of people have.
Definitely.
Okay, there you go. So, okay, but had you done that for your own band?
I mean, I've certainly Googled like our old band a lot because there's a lot out there on the old band.
Okay.
There's not as much out there to Google for We Should Have Been Plumbers now. I'll probably Google this band at a later time when it's over one day and I'm feeling nostalgic. But that's probably
this is why, it's the good news though, isn't it? Other than maybe you should hook up with the if there's an emergency plumbing issue there, call Bling maybe. But you guys know that it's how important that you guys come up in there was like, I think 6 to 8 different lists with regards to your band. So that's a good thing. So I had to bring that up, ladies.
I like
That's
that.
good news. We like that.
Do you know where the name came from? Would you like to know, or did you find that anywhere?
This is why we wanted to let
I'm curious. I'm very curious. Yes.
Yes.
So,
this is why it's leading up to you guys, since you're obviously not professional plumbers.
soft hands.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're obviously not like a motorcycle
with plaster
anymore.
All over mine.
Oh, yeah.
Let's lead up into how in the hell did that name come to play?
Do you want to take this one, Kim?
Sure. Well, Jill and I have something in common, and we think maybe we have it in common with you too. But Jill and I are quite big Cher fans, and mostly of her films. And our favorite film is a movie called Moonstruck with Nicolas Cage.
Wow,
it's a classic. Yes. And there's a line. There's a line in Moonstruck where Cher's dad is he's in a house and he's giving like this couple a quote. And he's quite well off. He's doing quite well for himself. And there's a shot of the outside of this big house, and there's these two guys going in with paint buckets and a ladder, and they say, like, what are we doing here? Like, we should have been plumbers like Castorini. And just the idea of like, we should have been plumbers, because Jill and I, we've been at this a long time. And then we kind of switched gears during the pandemic to do this project. And we're, it's just like, starting again. And it's like, oh, what are we doing? We should have just been plumbers and had a good life, made some money, maybe. Like, anyway.
They didn't tell you that you don't make money in the entertainment industry. What are you thinking? You should have been a plumber. Sorry.
We know. We know.
How do you think the station gets financed? Okay. It's financed by Tim Hortons and me.
There you go.
Yeah, it's actually, ladies, it's quite hooky though. It is, and that's why I also found it quite humorous. Like I say, I've been doing this over 37 years, but when you come up with a band name, it has to be hooky, and that has a nice hook to it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and it's we Googled it, and there, besides like actual plumbers, we're next, so it's pretty good.
Guess who came by to
Awesome.
say hello?
I don't know who this other guy is. He just seems he's a stalker.
He just somehow dropped in. He might be the guy making all those alien noises while we're doing the interview and stuff, and all the echoes.
So that's interesting. Blaine, your next question, Bill. Blaine, go ahead.
No, we're gonna let this alien answer us. Hey, speak.
I'm not an alien.
Okay.
I may be a headbanger.
Ladies, do you know who this you know who this guy is? Yeah, he's a headbanger with no hair. There's only one guy who can be like that. This is John Blakemore, by the way.
Hey, John, what's up? Nice to meet you.
Owner of the station. Yeah, and you've been corresponding with him, so I guess he wanted to stop in and say hello. And now he's happy to know that these guys are focused on music and not on plumbing. That's a good thing.
We certainly are.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Any questions, John?
No, not really. Just a big thank you for accepting our invitation to come on the show.
Oh, no, thanks for having us. Yeah.
As both Bling and Junior know, I'm a big supporter of indie bands. To me, I'd rather pay to go see an indie band than pay thousands of dollars to see some band who's been around for 90 years and still trying to kick.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's nice to support people coming up.
Excellent, man. Thank you very much for that, John. I appreciate it. All right, so to move on with the interview. Okay, so you girls have been doing this for quite a while and stuff. Tell me how you got started in all this and what made you want to become musicians. Oh yes, this is getting deep now.
That's a big question. Well, I mean, for me, I guess I'll try to be brief, but basically, when I was a kid, my mom sang, and she sang in like the church choir. She sang at weddings. She sang at funerals. She had a really big, beautiful voice. Was really good at harmonies and stuff. And she used to set me up when I was a small little girl. She'd set me up on the counter and teach me how to sing harmonies along with songs that were on the radio or whatever we were listening to. So now, even today, when Kim writes all the lyrics and writes the melodies for the songs, I come up and sing harmonies in the background for all of them. That's kind of what I do vocally. But as far as being a musician, my mom loved music. So did my dad. And I got my first bass guitar when I was 11. Didn't start playing guitar until I actually played bass my whole life until I was 27. And then Kim and I started a band, and Kim used to play guitar. And then she's like, you know what? I want to play bass. You play guitar. And I was like, okay. So then I picked up a guitar.
Nobody does that.
Yeah. She wanted to change, so we switched, and that was really it. But we've been playing together forever. Kim, you can talk about it too if you want.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really know why I wanted to be a musician. I just always gravitated towards music. I was brought up very religiously, so I wasn't allowed to listen to music. Then that just made me want to listen to music more.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I just consumed so much music when I was young. I just couldn't get enough of it. And yeah, eventually, you know, I would kind of play guitars if they were around and stuff. And eventually, my grandfather bought me a guitar, and yeah, that was kind of
What age, Kim? Did you start playing guitar? What age?
Probably like seriously playing and like actually trying to learn it. Probably 12. Yeah, so not super young, but I would always kind of mess around with them at my grandpa's house or whatever. But yeah, like actually tried, was like, I'm gonna learn some chords and do this. I was probably around 12. Yeah.
So you had a bit of a rebellious attitude at the time because of.
Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, I was just like a little queer kid in like a very like very strict, you know, we didn't have a TV, like we weren't allowed to listen to the radio, like, you know,
Wow.
it was very, yeah. So
No, I get it. I get it. They were
I
crazy
was just
back in
on
the
my
days.
bike,
when we went
yeah, going to Zellers to buy like a Will Smith tape, you know what I mean? Like hiding it under my bed.
Totally.
Well,
But yeah,
listen,
my
as
love
you know,
just grew, yeah.
as you know, we are like a blended radio station. We play indie rock, classic rock, and we play Christian music, and so on and so on. And it's just so shocking now that back, you know, as you were growing up back in the '80s and stuff, they were so strict with these things about, oh, you can't listen to this, and this is censored that, and no, this one caused, you know, Ozzy Osbourne made this kid commit suicide, and all this, and it's so funny now that all the things they were so against back then are all now becoming genres of music. You have Christian metal, you have Christian this, you got even rave techno parties and stuff that are Christian and so on. So it's weird how everything was like so strict and censored back then. And like you were saying, the TVs, you weren't allowed, you know, like you can't listen to this type of music. Oh, it's the devil's work and all that. And look at it now. You know what I mean? It's the content. It really is.
Yeah.
It's all about the content. And what we try to do is we try to keep it as clean as we can, you know, over here. You know, we don't believe in the old rock and roll. You have to be evil and, you know, worship the devil or whatever type of thing. We believe great music comes from solid, great lyrics and stuff. I mean, you listen to amazing bands. Now, I can't help it, but when I look at the both of you, I haven't seen a duel come along like this since the days of Veruca Salt.
Oh,
since the days
we like
of,
that. We like
since
that.
the days, yeah, since the days of
Keep
Veruca
talking.
Salt and of course Indigo Girls and stuff like that. Just, you know, it's amazing to see somebody go about and do this again or whatever. And sometimes you can find some of the coolest bands with two girls who love music, play music well, and write amazing songs and harmonize so well together. And that's what I'm noticing about you guys. So are you influenced by these past artists type of thing? When you were putting this together, did you say?
I think, I mean, Kim and I like a lot of similar music, and we're a similar age, so like our mid to late 30s kind of thing. And I think because we like a lot of similar stuff, like I mean, we're Stones kids. We came up on, like listening to the Stones, listen to Cher records, listen to pop, but also a lot of rock, a lot of indie rock. Like, so I mean, any of those bands where it's like women playing guitars definitely influenced me, whether it be punk rock or stuff that's a little more mainstream and stuff, anything like that. But I think you can hear a lot of stuff in this record. Like in this record, I kept joking while we were writing it, the type of guitar playing style that I was doing, I felt like it was very like Canadian rock sounding. Like I felt like I was like, I finally wrote my Moist record, or I finally wrote my, you know what I mean? Like it reminded me of a lot of records that I grew up listening to of Canadian rock. So that's kind of what I felt. And like Sarah Harmer, I don't know if you know Sarah Harmer, and like her old band, like Weeping Tile was her old band. And I felt like I was just channeling Weeping Tile when I was writing. So yeah, I'm sure Kim had other influences that she had going on as well when she was writing. But
yeah, I mean, I think it's just like anything, it's just like a combination of all the things that sort of you listen to over the years. I mean, I think this record is probably the most grunge record I've ever written, you know? So I think that definitely came to the surface for both of us while doing this. And, you know, a lot of people were just like, oh, it's just like so crazy that you put out a grunge record in 2022. You know what I mean? I think it was like people were just surprised. And, but yeah, I mean, that's obviously, that was our generation, you know?
Yeah.
Was
Totally.
Tool and Nirvana and all, you know, all of it. Just,
Yeah, like you mentioned Veruca Salt. Like in high school, I was listening to Volcano Girls and belting it out at like 15, 14 years old. So that's why, for sure.
Well, as you know, John hosts the Women in Rock show on Fridays, and one of the songs I put up to him recently, I says, "Hey John, you remember Veruca Salt and that song called Seether or something? It was something she was singing about some cat or something or or whatever." And he goes, "Yeah." So he's been playing it ever since on the show. And then so of course after that I thought up and I go, "Who are the ones who did that other song? Remember those?" I said they did that. What was it? The you know that tour back in the day or whatever, you know. With Melissa Etheridge and all the rest or whatever. Oh yeah, Veruca, the Indigo Girls. Yeah. Whatever happened to them? You know, it's like, yeah. So you know, we try to celebrate great women like yourself or whatever in the show or whatever. And definitely, I do know that we, even though it's you know, it's not really mainstream 100% all the time. Be known for sure that your music will be playing during John's show. I'm sure, right, John?
Well, of course.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's a
I love
celebration
it.
of women in rock. So
I've
Yeah.
always looked at it, the women don't get enough. It's always the men that seem to get the spotlight. It's time that the women take that spotlight as well. You know, there's great women out there, you know, that I've seen myself in concert, you know, like talk about
It's
Melissa
definitely-
Etheridge.
You girls pay these guys to say these things about
I mean, I will say, like, since we're on the topic,
check
like,
is in the mail, right?
right, that's right. I will say, since we're on the topic, that, like, I mean, it's definitely a different experience to be a woman playing rock shows. That's for sure. And I mean, everyone, like, we're pretty lucky. We come from a place where we get along with all the people we've played shows with, all the crew and sound people and stuff. But we've also been on the road and we've run into people that just think we're stupid. You know what I mean? Or they think we don't know how our guitar works and stuff like that. And you just got to laugh. It's like, oh my goodness, it's wild the way that they talk to you.
When you're looking at that, you know who the stupid one is? It's them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For me, like, I remember the first time I saw Melissa Etheridge, it was her very first tour. And she was just new on the market, you know, and I went to see her show and I came away from that show blown away. I said, man, in my mind, I said, this woman is going to go far. And she has.
She did,
Yeah.
And there's that,
I mean, for years.
Could be you. That could be you 10 years down the road. We don't know.
there you go.
And
We're ready.
It would be nice because it would just show you know, it would just show that you mean business.
We certainly mean business.
Well, look, you know, since the 70s, early 70s and stuff, you know, look at have you ever heard of Sister Rosetta Thorpe?
Yeah.
She dates all the way back to that. She was one of the first blues. She played electric guitar like no other, you know, great history when it goes back to the blues and jazz and stuff like that. Sister Rosetta Thorpe. I think they have a video that plays on YouTube and stuff of that performance where she's at some train station or something, but just incredible woman. But imagine the trials and tribulations then, and then a great band like Heart comes around, gets that recognition. I mean, Ann and Nancy Wilson are just phenomenal girls or whatever.
Yeah, they are.
Totally had control of their career over the years.
Yeah.
But they were nobody ever respected her as a great freaking guitarist. And you know, like Magic Man and stuff like that. Some of the greatest guitar licks, and on Dreamboat Annie and stuff like that. All the guitar licks. Everybody back then thought, oh, it must be one of those guy guitarists or something they have working for. But the whole time it was her, man, coming up with these sick licks, you know, which are, you know,
super recognizable for sure.
Solidified in the music industry now, and Yeah, so you're jumping into a world of great history of women in rock or whatever, and we're proud to see you guys representing Canada too, even though you're down in Vermont.
Nice.
It's okay. It's all good.
No, I'm here, but I am Canadian through and through. I don't let anybody forget that.
Are they teasing you down there all the time about using the word "ain't"?
They tease me about how I say a lot of things.
About. Yeah, I think it's about.
They hear it. So I'll meet somebody, and then a few seconds into the conversation, they'll just sort of squint and say, "Where are you from?" It's like, oh, they heard it. They heard it.
That's it. You want to hear true Canadian accent? Junior Leclerc. Come on, Junior. Hey?
I'm allowed to talk. Oh, wow.
There you are. Sorry, we did not forget you, man. We didn't forget you. You got the floor, man. You got a good.
I was looking on the billboard there to see whose show this is. You girls get it, right? You got it, right? Yes. Let's get back to the band.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'd like to know is the first song that you collaborated on and what the song was.
Do you mean ever, or do you mean on this record?
Right from get-go, when you first, the two of you met, so the first song you ever collaborated on.
Kim, do you remember? I bet we could. Oh, you don't remember? I think I could pull it together. It was a really long time ago. I mean, we must have been like 25 or something, but I would have been 25. Kim would have been a little younger probably, but.
So what's that, 5 years ago?
15 years ago, 15, 16 years ago, so 15 years. 16 actually, I think, Kim. It's been a while. It's been a while. Anyway, I think in the very beginning, Kim and I were jamming with some of our artist friends in a basement in Halifax, and there was nothing was happening. We were just having fun. But the very first little tiny idea of a band that we started was called the Stay at Home Dads. And we had 2 songs. I know, Stay at Home Dads. It's our band names. This is what we do.
I don't know. No, I'm laughing because I have the same sick imagination. I have my favorite band, which I can't even play music. It's called Suddenly the Squid. So
yeah, there you go. You understand. But we had 2 songs. One was called Home Wrecker, and the other one was called China. And China was literally, we had a friend named China, and we just yelled China over and over and over.
You also lived above where we would play sometimes. So I think what actually happened is we were just trying to get her attention.
She lived upstairs. Yeah.
So you seem to always come back to what seems to be Nova Scotia. So what part of Halifax were you at this time? I have a lot of ties there. We just had Sean on from Barstools and Band Talk. They're out of actually 5 minutes from the Trailer Park Boys. So they were in Dartmouth by the Micmac Canoeing Club. Were you in Dartmouth or Halifax at the time?
We're in Halifax, yeah. So we lived back. I mean, this was like 17 years ago, so you were still able to live kind of in the downtown South End area. We lived on Church Street and that area, just kind of
Hollis and Morris in a building that's since been torn down, but it was kind of like infamous. It was a building that tons of art students from NASCAD and musicians and photographers lived in, and we all kind of lived communally there.
Yeah, I know Halifax very, very well because I have a lot of Black friends. I could walk Goddigan Street, and you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
I did broadcasting as well, and it was a place. Sorry, ladies, it was a strip club. They had the broadcasting school under the Lobster Trap. It was called. I don't know if it's still there or not.
The
Lobster Trap.
I remember, Kim. That was where the frigate was.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah, that's where the frigate was.
Okay,
I remember that.
The Pogue.
And historically, you ladies know of the famous Misty Moon.
Well, that was a little before our time, I think.
I don't know Misty Moon. I feel like I'm failing you right now, but I don't know Misty Moon.
Okay.
Tell us, though. Please tell us who Misty Moon is. You must tell us now.
Misty Moon was a very, very, very famous club that was down that area. Yeah, from April Wine, started out of there to you can name it. And I'm also going to, by the way, since you're out of that area, either look it up and just use my name. I'd like to get you guys some support down there on my boys, like I say, out of Dartmouth. Bar Stools and Band Talk. Sean McKenna are there. So those guys. So we get you some exposure in your area down there.
That's cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's it.
Very cool.
Definitely. Okay, so recently you guys came out with a new album. How many albums do you have under your belt already?
Well, this is it for. We should have been plumbers. This is the first project. This was just like
first project.
This
first
started
full
during the
album?
pandemic.
Okay.
We did everything long distance. We were never in the same room when we made this record. But before that, we had made 4 or 5 albums with and EPs and stuff with Like a Motorcycle. But that's probably like the discography. Like I don't know, 6 things total or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's it. What's the name of the album? By the way, it's just self-titled.
It's just self-titled. Yeah.
Self-titled.
We could have been plumbers. We should have been plumbers.
Yeah.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Whatever.
Hey, maybe that's an idea for your next album, eh? You can call it "Could Have, Would Have, Should Have."
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That's great.
Keep with the theme. with the plumber's wrench on it. That's it. Yeah. So on the album or whatever, what's been getting the most popular attention and stuff?
So the Sad and Lonely definitely got the biggest sort of push, I would say, when it comes to streaming and stuff. It seemed to be a favorite, and I tend to agree. I think that's probably my favorite song on the record. Yeah, I think it just the timing of when that song came out, and we were kind of still like, just coming out of COVID and people were still in lockdown and thing. I think it really resonated with people. We sort of wrote the record in a lockdown, and then by the time it came around to like release it, we were kind of like back where we started. So the timing was kind of perfect in a shitty, awful way.
Yeah. I have to admit, when I watched the video, it did give me that feeling of Canadian comfort. Kind of like, you remember when the Bare Naked Ladies first came out and they were doing a remake of Don't the Hours Grow Shorter as the Day Goes By? Blah, blah, blah. I forget the name of the song. Anyways, they were on the back of a pickup truck, and then the neighbor
Lovers in a Dangerous Time
and all. And so, Lovers in a Dangerous Time.
Yeah.
One of their first videos that they released, and it gave me that same warm feeling because it was like taking place in somebody's kitchen, guy with the guitar, everybody's drinking beer, having a good time, laughing, having a good old house party, which is what we love doing. Here in Canada, barbecues, camping, whatever. We're Canadian, and we're proud about it. And that's, I think, probably what might have brought the popularity to that video, because it was just so personal in a way.
It's relatable.
And a lot of people probably, you got it. You made people feel comfortable, and the song does blend very well with it. It didn't make it too much of a sad song. It made it more of like a memorial song. Definitely.
It was, definitely.
Junior.
Yeah, I was just looking at some of my notes here with regards to because when I was looking up that you guys are, of course, living in Vermont. So you are in where Kim? Where are you at then for you guys to be able to collaborate when you do get together?
We've actually only seen each other once since the start of this whole process. So wow. I've been in Halifax the whole time, and Jill's been in Burlington, and we literally saw each other 3 weeks ago.
All right.
3 weeks ago.
And that was the first time we'd seen each other in 2 years and 4 months.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I know you.
Yeah. Totally. So we went to Montreal. So I still play in Like a Motorcycle. That band still exists. Like a Motorcycle went to Montreal to play Pooza Fest, and Jill, it's like quite a short trip actually for Jill to come up. So Jill came up, and we spent the weekend in Montreal together. But that's the first time we've been in the same room this entire time. We literally were just doing everything in our houses and just sending things back and forth and building on top of things, and literally just like anything goes, like send me something, send something back, like just kind of something to do while we were, stuck in our houses.
This was a very different songwriting process than I think we were used to, because when we were
Absolutely.
playing in other bands together, we were always writing like normal people write in a room together, where the whole band is there, and you try something and you say, "Oh, that sucks. Do it a different way," or whatever, right? But with this, it was very, very different, and we kind of just let each other go, and there was no criticism. It was very interesting. It was just like, I would write a guitar line and I would hear the song in my head already. I was like, I wrote this song, and I'd send it to Kim. And it could be 2 hours or 2 weeks later that she'd send me back a bass line, and she would do something crazy that I wasn't expecting, that changes the whole song and how it sounds. But instead of like, I would adapt to that and say, okay, this song's different now. Now I'm going to do this other thing with it. And it was just really cool. It was like just building blocks. It was very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
How many
interesting.
songs in total do you have for this LP?
So this EP was 6 altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple songs that didn't make it onto the EP,
Yeah,
but 6 is what made it on, and we're working on the next one now. We've got a handful of songs coming along, so.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because I should back myself up. It seems to be a lot. Like even when I was just talking, because she's come through my way, I've known her for years, Lee Aaron and whatnot. Most are releasing EPs more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I met Lee Aaron when I was like 19 years old, and I thought she was the hottest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Oh my God. What a babe.
She hasn't changed.
She's a babe. Oh my God.
Well, yeah. We had her, like I said, with the last show anyway. I've known, well, I know her as Karen. This is her right here, by the way.
Yeah.
Back here. But anyway, when she was 13, speaking of Heart, she was doing tributes to Heart back then.
Yeah.
Type thing. So when we did the show, I'm also the host at the Rock Pile in Etobicoke, Toronto. You may be familiar. So we had her there. I said, "Holy shit." I go, "I haven't seen you since you were, I was at Q107 at one time, if you're familiar. So I haven't seen you since then. But we met when you were 13." And she went, "Oh my God, Junior, I'm having a flashback because my daughter is now 13.
Wild.
You know what? Junior just continues to do this. He makes him sound older than dirt. all his history and stuff. That's it. Me, I'm at the stage where I'm old enough that when I fart, rust comes out, type of thing. But Junior, I don't know, dirt. Hey, you're getting as old as dirt, man. I'm telling you. That's it. Back in the days when we used spoons to unscrew light bulbs.
Yes.
That's it. When we walked, what was it, Junior? Hey, when we walked 20 miles in our bare feet just to get to school, right?
Yeah.
Back in the days of Halifax. Yeah.
I was just talking about something like that today, and talking to, say, a grandfather. The commercial, maybe you've heard it. "Grandpa, did they have horses when you were young? Why do you ask that?" He goes, "Because I didn't think so. I thought the dinosaurs might eat them."
I love it.
My favorite is the Harley Davidson commercial where the grandfather's sitting on the balcony and the kid's looking up with him with all these glossy eyes. He says, "Oh, I remember those days, freedom of the road, riding my Harley Davidson, wind in my hair." And he goes, "You used to own a Harley Davidson, Grandpa?" He goes, "No, I wasted all my money on aluminum siding." I've seen some great commercials and stuff. There's been some great creativity with things.
Can I ask you a question, Junior?
Yeah.
Sure.
Did you mention earlier that you know somebody who has played with Cher? Did you say that earlier?
I did. I was saying earlier, I'm very honored on this. We lost a very good friend. It's now going on a couple of years. The great Phil Narr. We played with Talus, which is he had Billy Sheehan and so on, and he was also in Ozone. So Phil was tied in with a lot. Look up his name. God bless him. I just miss him so much. Anyway, one of the players that he played a lot with was Mitch Perry. So I had him on my tribute show. So he had a lot of stories. It's on my wall if you guys want to get on the Facebook there and listen to him. Talk about being on tour with Cher, and also, well, you guys are too young for this, but anyway, Johnny Winter.
That's cool.
but I bring this up because of this reason, and we've had many stars that I've interviewed, that Bling's interviewed, and it's funny in Mitch Perry. So I asked him the obvious now, ladies, and that is what that was like. And he said, we performed. It was, I think it was like 75,000 people somewhere over in Europe. He goes, but that isn't what my best memory is in music. My best memory is playing guitar with my 2 kids, not playing with Cher.
I mean, that is the sweetest thing I've ever heard, but if it were me, it would be Cher.
It's a fucking lie is what that is.
So obviously you have no kids then, right?
No, we don't. Yeah.
Our
records are our kids. The records we make are our kids.
It's a valid question. I've actually been interviewed by, and I got to get you hooked up. Like I say, these guys are playing in your way. Actually, you're familiar with Monty's in Dartmouth?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we've played there in the past. Yeah.
Okay, so Side Hustle, Michelle something or other also plays there a lot and whatnot. So what I'm getting at, ladies, is I've been so fortunate that I've interviewed Bob Seger. I've blah blah my time. So when I bring up the names, it's always about that and the hookup. So this is why at this point, why I joined Bling and them about introducing. I've been the Canadian flag waver for over 37 years from Prince Edward Island right to Vancouver. I love the idea of this because of this reason, ladies, is new music like this is refreshing to my ear. That's the bottom line of why. I am agreement with John, but not John Blackmore with regards to, he's right about the concert ticket thing, but in regards to it being too pricey and whatnot, that he will support the smaller acts. That's fabulous. So here's what I'm getting at without digressing too much, ladies. In talking with the guys in Halifax on their show, Bar Stools and Band Talk, we are now a family in music. It is not a competition. Yeah.
We feel that already. Like we actually, because we've been a part of the Halifax music scene for like 15, 16 years now, we have a very integrated, large community of people. Like the other bands that we play with, we're always rooting for each other, going to each other's shows, telling all our friends how good and talented our friends are. So we definitely, the world that you're talking about and the one that you're embracing is the one that we already live in. We love it more than anything. Like nothing makes us happier than seeing one of our friends succeed or get on a really good show or get to open for a really big band. We're the first ones cheering for them. So that's honest. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because that's what's going on. Again, are you familiar with the Rock Pile in Toronto, Etobicoke?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay, so you're not from Ontario. You're a lie. You lie.
No, it's actually funny. I've actually now at this point lived half my life in Halifax and the adult half. So I only lived in Ontario till I was 17. So I'm a bit out of touch, unfortunately.
Hey, look, ladies, don't get me wrong. Look at my heart has always been down east, but my music career and everything has always been Ontario and out. So I bring that up because of what you just stated there a minute ago. So since you do know of Lee Aaron, so the example would be, and this is the front person is a lady, and the band is called Madam. Now, they were able to open for Lee Aaron. So down where we are, and listen, ladies, we have Gilby Clark coming. We've had LA Guns, Pat Travers. I can go on, Striper, on and on and on. My point being is these people that we are familiar with that had the level up here, they have no issue in coming to a smaller venue, and they all say the same thing that we're talking about. They want bands like, say, We Should Have Been Plumbers, bands like Madam, bands like to special guest and or open with them. So the support is totally changed from back 20 years ago when, and it has, don't tell me it hasn't happened in Halifax, because it has, where gear gets thrown the fuck off the fucking stage. Get off, you're done.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Definitely.
No, because I've been there. Like I say, I know Halifax as well as you ladies. I hung around at the university quite a bit. I don't know why.
Poor got hair on his chest.
What?
The university. That's it. Hey, listen. My next question is very simple, or whatever. Now, this band, we should have been Plumbers. You've been around, of course, for a while. You've had other bands and stuff. What type of success have you seen so far with the band since you started?
Well, this band, it's interesting. So it's kind of, because it was released at a time when there was still no touring. Like, I know that was only a few months ago, but touring really hadn't picked back up yet, and it's really picking back up now. So we're kind of at a pivotal moment right now where we'll have the opportunity in the coming year, probably, to play shows. And the funny thing is, we wrote this as a duo. We played all the instruments except the drums. Our friend Sean did the drums for us. But now it's like we have to put together the band of all the instruments we played and play some shows. But as far as like so far, what's been really pleasing to me is that we've been charting in like 4 or 5 different provinces, like in campus radio and stuff. And like every couple of weeks, like we're charting in BC, or we're charting wherever else. So that's been really nice. And we also got picked up on a couple of Spotify playlists. And there was a time when Sad and Lonely first came out that it was actually being listened to in like 38 countries or something like that. So we've had a couple of moments that have felt really nice, like it was being well received, for sure.
Yeah. I think for this project, it's
We're
like,
not. Yeah.
oh, sorry, you're freezing up there.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, I was just going to say, I think when we started this project, and I mean, even until now, it's like we really did it for fun. Like, we really did it for something to do, and there was no real expectations. You know, it was a while before we even realized we were making a record. We were just kind of, we had, you know, 3 or 4 songs, and we were like, oh, I guess we're making a record now. You know what I mean? So we weren't doing anything with like, you know, we weren't thinking about, oh my God, who are we going to get to? You
weren't taking it too serious at first. It was just something sidelined, and
well, we wanted to write songs
and all of a sudden you looked at, you just looked at each
it.
other and went, oh, by the way, we're a band now, I guess.
Well, yeah, this song was good, right? I think we didn't know what the outcome was going to be of the music, and when we were just so happy, we were just so pleased, you know, with ourselves, and we were just like, this is a record. This could be something really good, and we just wanted to put it out. And I think for me, anyway, it's like I wanted us to just kind of do it ourselves and do the indie thing, and not like really worry, especially with the pandemic and us being so far away too. You know, I just wanted to do it ourselves and just like see if people liked it, great, you know. And yeah, we've been really pleased with how it's been received, considering the fact that we just kind of, you know, didn't put a ton of effort into the promotion of it, but we just wanted to do it, and you know, if people liked it, then that's the best feeling in the world. You know, it's not.
I think we all agree here, Junior, John, myself. I think we all agree here. The way you just answered that shows total love and respect for music. That you're doing it for the right reasons. You're not doing it for the fame and glory, the record label, and all that stuff. You're doing it because you love doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's
we've talked a lot about that. I appreciate that you say that, Blaine. That's nice. I think it's we've talked a lot about it. Like, we're the kind of artists that will make art if nobody cares, and we continue to be driven. Like, when I moved to the States, I didn't have any friends there. Like, my mom passed away. Like, I was going through a really dark time, and all I did was sit in a room and make music. And I made music constantly for like 2 years before I started doing this with Kim. And it's just, if you're a musician, if you're truly a musician, if you're truly an artist, you're going to sit in a room by yourself and do it because you need it to survive, and you need it to process your feelings, and you need it to process the world around you. So I think Kim and I are both that kind of people that if Kim's bands disappeared tomorrow, Kim will still be in a room by herself writing songs. You know what I mean?
And we'll still be talking to ourselves on radio, right, John? Right, Junior? Hey?
Perfect. Yeah.
You want to talk about a lonely world? We know that. We know that world. Trust me. When you're sitting in a room just talking to yourself, it's like that. There's a lot of perspective. But it's great that people
Well,
listen.
you
to
ladies
us
laugh though, but in broadcasting school, that's what they tell you to do: is talk to your imaginary friend.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Totally.
Well, no, it doesn't, because you should see the other personalities that will come out.
Or that you create. Yes. Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, John Jr. Question.
Yeah, I was just, it was more of, it's nice to be able to hear. So if you had to pick one artist that has influenced you the most, who would that artist be?
We need a second. I need a second.
Oh, you got the time.
I mean, I think if it's like an artist that has like actually influenced the way I sound in music, I would definitely have to say Kim Deal of the Pixies and the Breeders. I think although they were something I came across a bit later in my life, it wasn't something I listened to when I was like a teenager. For whatever reason, that style of bass playing and that style of writing songs just innately became sort of like a part of me, you know? That was a big influence. And I think just an influence that like that was already there and it just kind of pushed, was like, yeah, that's how you do that. That's how you do that thing that you're trying to do, you know? So I think for me, that's a big one. And it just happened very naturally that I became aligned with Kim Deal in many ways, I think.
Yeah. I know that you asked one, but I had two that popped into my mind immediately, so I'll just say them together. But I think because of the formative years when I was learning to play bass and learning what bands were and playing in my first bands in high school and stuff, I think Nirvana and Smashing Pumpkins.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I still, to this day, if I'm sitting alone playing guitar in my basement, I still play Nirvana songs and Smashing Pumpkin songs. I still just enjoy playing them more than anything. And I feel like just the style of songwriting, I know that they're two very different things, and that the production of Smashing Pumpkins is very shiny and big and layered. And then the production of Nirvana is very purposefully stripped down to be as raw as it can be. Those songs are still written the same. Those songs contain the same content. They're verse, chorus, verse, grunge, rock, like from that time, from an energy in that time. And I think that energy is what I write now. I think every song I write now has that in it.
Yeah.
I say that because some artists and musicians, even the famous, they actually don't listen to other artists because they feel it takes away from their artistic integrity of what they're trying to create. They don't want any influence whatsoever on it. So it's interesting, and that's why I asked that question, because it's a hard thing to kind of answer, ladies, because of we will all have been influenced to a degree. This is how we found our craft,
100%.
you know, more than anything.
Yeah.
But it also leads to this. It was like when we just had a Darby Mills on from the Headpins, right? So with her, it was a natural for her to scream, as she calls it. It became famous for. And of course, the raspiness, she didn't realize how influential it was actually going to be. But yet my point is this is what and how we found our sound. And that's obviously in your lady's case.
Yeah, well, I think it's like, for me, it's the opposite of what you're saying. I think listening to music, listening to my favorite music is what makes me want to write music. You know what I mean? Like when I can't think of, like, when I'm stuck for inspiration or can't think of anything to say or write, I'll just put on an Oasis record. And it immediately, for whatever reason, like, if I put on Definitely Maybe, that record, it makes me want to write a song. Like, it just gives me this feeling, like this guttural feeling of like, I want to write a song. And I think that's because that was a record when I was younger, I listened to, and I was like, I want to I want to be a musician. I want to be a rock star. You know what I mean? I want to write songs, and I can still listen to that record and feel that, and then turn it off and sit down and like pick up my guitar and feel better, you know?
You know
Feel
what
like I can
record?
do it.
The same record for me, Kim. I know that's your record. That's been your record for a long time. That's your record to get you going. The record that gets my juices flowing every single time and makes me want to play guitar is PJ Harvey's Stories from the City, Stories from the Sea.
Yeah, that is your record, yeah.
This is getting naughty now.
So I think we can respect kind of both sides of that in regards to, like I say, being influenced. Somebody's radio playing in the background there. I don't know if it's John but anyway. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh my God. It's me. I have the station on in the background because I got two computers running.
Now I can hear you.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Bling who's making it.
An hour and 23 minutes later.
I am the dick. I will take all the onus for that. I am the dick. I shall wear my dickhead with pride.
It's funny.
Hey, I'm just thankful that I don't know about you ladies, but it's not actually just playing in the back of my head there, because then I'd be
that
worried.
age didn't really kick in on you.
Oh, no.
It's happening again.
And of course, people are calling me. Okay, come on.
No.
Everybody, nobody realizes I have a radio show on Thursday nights. All my friends still call me. It's like, oh,
yes.
You're on air. Sorry.
Yeah, busy.
Yeah.
So you
okay.
brought up being brought up that you're in regards to singing and whatnot, family. So did you actually take any professional singing lessons in the time, or is just something that, like you say, you were around family all the time and singing that you just became kind of a natural vocalist?
Yeah, I mean, I've never, Kim's the same. I think I can speak for Kim and I to say nobody's ever taught us to do anything. We can't read music. We learned everything by ear. My basis of guitar knowledge is make it scream, make it make noise, make feedback. The more feedback, the better. As long as there's feedback, it masks whatever thing I'm doing wrong. You know what I mean? And singing, I think I just came from a singer. My mom was a singer. She made me a singer. That's it. Yeah.
So when did you actually, as I was saying before, do you believe that you actually finally found your voice?
I'll be honest, as from a writing, like a songwriting perspective.
No, a tone. Like you have your sound.
Well, the tone of my voice, I always tell Kim I have the voice of an angel.
Where have we heard that before? Hey, Junior?
You have no idea what.
You have no.
Let's pause you for a sec there. Okay, sure. I'll have Bling explain this to you. Go ahead, Bling. Who we're talking about here?
We have a wonderful show that would once air on indierockradio.ca and still runs or whatever, because we're in the middle of this, anyways, technical stuff. But one of the hosts of this show called The Hikadelic Show, which is based out of Ontario around Junior's way and how me and Junior met, has a host called Ringo, Johnny Ringo. And he is also the lead singer of which band? Motor City Heads or something.
Motor City Maniacs. Motor City
Maniacs. And he definitely, every show, drives the listeners crazy and so on by stating that he has the voice of an angel. He goes by the name Voice of an Angel, in fact. And is self-proclaimed the voice of the angel.
Quite a self-proclamation.
It is. Okay, so I can't answer your question, though, then. I can answer the question now because so I would say that I found.
But hold on a minute. We don't want to infringe on any copyright laws because he might have copywritten this shit. I don't know for sure, but that sounds like Johnny Ringo for you.
If somebody sends me
about putting up a website.
If somebody sends me a cease and desist, I will comply.
There you go.
That's it. Or just tell them Bling and Junior. That's it.
But I think on the full length record that Kim and I did with Like a Motorcycle, it's called High Hopes.
All right.
I think that was the first time when I really felt at home in my voice and my backups and the stuff I was contributing to the songs and how I sounded, I think.
Because it is, like I say, I've interviewed so many, and you've got to know what I'm talking. I'm sure you do. That there's a time that comes that all of a sudden you're kind of going, wow, that's me. And then when you have found it, to be able to exercise it in so many different ways, it's a gift.
Yeah.
It is. And I say that for this reason, okay? Now, people have picked on singers, but they need to shut the fuck up because they don't get it, meaning this is the instrument. A guitar you can tune. If this isn't working, then you are in trouble. So we don't need to pick on, say, lately what John Bon Jovi and Vince Neil. If this instrument's not working, then there's an issue. So it's a very important point with regards to this. If you're going to be calling yourself a singer, you best be able to be a singer.
Yeah. I agree.
Well,
now, with that in
definitely
mind, I will end it on this. Before you go to stage, two things. Do you warm up properly, and do you wear a scarf to protect your throat, my dear?
Ooh. Woo. Actually, I think in the first few years of Like a Motorcycle, I was never photographed without a scarf. But the thing to remember is that I've never been the lead singer of any of these acts. Like in Like a Motorcycle, the lead singer was Michelle, and We Should Have Been Plumbers. The lead singer is Kim. I've just done backups for everybody, so my protection has never been as intense as theirs. Like Kim, you have rituals before singing on stage, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we in Like a Motorcycle now with the lineup that we have, we really share vocals amongst like the three of us. So the two guitar players and myself. But before then, we never really did vocal warm-ups. But now it's like our guitarist Dave, he has this like recording of these exercises on his phone, and he like makes us all sit in his car, and we all have to like do them all. And you know, I think for one, it's a sign of like getting older and being more responsible and you know, taking care of your voice and wanting to be prepared, and the longevity. So if you're playing shows in a row, you know, you might blow especially some of the stuff we're doing in like Motorcycle, it's a lot more like screamier, a lot more punk. So, you know, you could really blow your voice out one night if you didn't do it right. So like now that I'm older, you know, back in the day, I just ripped a line of Coke and went on stage and flailed around. Everyone was like, this is great. But, you know, now we listen to our garden show on CBC and drink tea on the way to the gig. And, you know, it's a different life, and that's fine, you know. So yeah, I think it's different. It's different now than it was, but yeah. Tea and honey. I swear.
You know
what?
No. Fisherman's Friend.
Fisherman's Friend. Yeah, it's good.
I have a friend of mine. She's an amazing background vocalist. I mean, these girls got voices. I mean, I won't say voice of an angel because I won't want to get sued. But anyways, she has got an amazing voice, but the woman suffers from bronchitis, stuff like that, and many different things like that. And she would really have to like prepare to go on stage because she was belting. She was doing backgrounds for Guns N' Roses tracks and stuff and different things. It was an old band that I worked with, and she is just phenomenal. But I asked her, I says, how the hell do you pull that off without, you know, like having it? She said, Fisherman's Friend. Taking one of those or whatever would clear her passages enough that she could belt out and so on and felt smoothly. It's got the same similarity to the tea with lemon and stuff.
Totally.
It's about softening up a little bit and making sure that you can perform because, I think dryness is probably the biggest enemy to any sort of singing. Just getting a dryness in your throat or whatever that would kill you. Because when you're forcing, it's about pacing. We spoke about this, Junior, with last interview.
Darby, I think, wasn't it? Oh yeah,
Michael also, but we spoke about this where It is. It's like a pace that you got to do. You do a show, you got to line up your set list specifically the way
yeah. It's an art.
you can
The
pace
set
your
list is an art.
voice.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I also have
So
to like
it's
eat
very
at a
crucial.
certain time. Like I can't eat before I play, or it's just like, you know what I mean? I have to eat like my main meal at like 3:00. You know what I mean? And then I can't eat like things like that. You know, and you just your body just has to get into like a rhythm, and
Well, it's that important
You're
because
wanting
again,
something
yeah, that people don't realize. So the example being, no matter where that you're playing or whatever at your venue, you of course are arriving, and it's now the personable. You are talking to people as you go. You may meet fans to whatever. My point being is people tend to forget that in all this socializing, it is working the throat. So you can't do as much socializing. A lot of them don't before a show because they are saving their voice.
Oh yeah, I have a friend. She plays in a band called Partner, and she literally like won't talk to anyone for like 4 hours before the show.
Yeah.
It's like just won't speak.
Some think they're being some people think they're being shitheads or whatever the case may be, but so I bring that up
They're
because
trying
like I
to do
said,
the best they can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is very important in that, and I can hear it in the vocal. But I hear more of an influence of somebody else when I'm listening to the last couple of tracks there. Personally, I can't help but think that I'm hearing some Ann Wilson in there a little bit because of the range, and some Sass Jordan, and that's quite a compliment.
Oh, wow,
Sass, that's awesome. That's
my
cool.
Goodness.
Sass Jordan, that's
Wow.
a great
Sassy.
compliment.
Yeah.
That's a great compliment. Thank you.
That's
Sass claims to say that's because I've been there, honestly, and I can say this on a public forum, that her raspiness came from all the joints that we smoked together.
There you go. They attributed to that.
yeah.
But
Did
you're
you
right,
know
Ken,
that
though,
Sass
none of us,
Jordan?
sorry, go ahead.
Did you know that Sass Jordan, before we used to have here in Montreal, the Montreal Forum, right? Which was where we saw all our concerts before the Bell Center went and so on. There was a park right next to there, and on the corner there was a McDonald's right next to the Forum. And Sass, before she became a singer and stuff, had worked at that McDonald's and stuff, and had served John a couple of times and myself, and so what a start, eh? McDonald's girl goes international song. But she's she's incredible. She's a really wonderful person, and yes, I've heard the story. She does blame you about all the joints and her raspiness. So
it's working out.
Well, that's why when you were talking earlier about that. Well, I was just saying that when we had Pat Travers again, we were laughing. We're a little bit older, but we're talking about back in the day. So it was back then. It was everything was free. So we were indulging in.
Pretty much.
I love that.
Yeah. So we'll just leave it at that.
It was
now,
this. This was the move, Junior. You want?
Yeah.
You want?
But yeah, you're right though. But now when I go backstage with all these people that I'm bringing up just for the sake of the conversation, like Lee, she was having a cup of tea. Pat was drinking. He still smokes joints, but he doesn't share. But anyway, I'm only kidding.
No, I love that.
But
that sentence was actually just beautiful. He still smokes joints, but he doesn't share.
Yeah.
I like that.
But yeah, it's just changed in regards to we kind of all have had our fun and all that, and so we just don't anymore because we've had our share. No pun intended, but yeah.
Well, of course. You know what
Now
my favorite guy was in
boring.
that circle, Junior? My favorite guy in that circle, whenever they were passing, here you want? You know?
Yeah.
When they were passing around that circle, there was always this one guy who's been smoking so much fucking stuff for like weeks upon end, and he's just like, he can't take anymore. He's about to fucking like, I can't do this, man. It's like, and there's always that one guy or whatever. He's like, no, I'm okay, man. I'm okay. Right?
Yeah.
Because he said,
you gotta know,
way too much because the weed's too good. You gotta know your limitations, right? Might have been younger Pat Travers. Who knows?
Yep.
Well, it's funny you say that. The other thing that Pat said, he goes, well, the other good news, he goes, is look at us at our age. He goes, if you smoke weed, we still have lots of fucking hair.
That's. And by the way, once again, we'd like to thank our wonderful friend Anne for her hair treatment.
That's right.
Information.
Yeah.
She's looking out.
Yeah, we have a
Available on Amazon.
We'll go back to speak with Kim about her band Oasis.
My band Oasis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, there we go.
Little story about Mr. Liam. Mr. Liam's real name is William.
Okay, yeah.
He attended school in Lachine, Quebec. I graduated with William Gallagher from high school. And he was a prick then, and he's a prick now.
I need
there
more
we go.
information.
There's the ending.
Here,
There's the ending.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yeah.
It's funny, when we interviewed him, he said you were a
15
prick,
years
John.
old.
There we go. Good one, Junior. Hey?
He was not,
Did you hear that,
not
John?
on my favorite list, okay?
Oh, no.
He was
What
my
about
most-
Warren? Was he on Warren's?
He was my no. He was not on Warren's either. He was a push around, and he basically was a bully. He was my number one threat in high school.
Crazy. I mean,
He used to
I'm not
lock me in my
surprised.
locker.
I don't think there's
That's
any
not cool.
illusions
Liam Gallagher,
out there.
you owe John an apology. Right here, right now. MGM Grand. It's John Blakemore against Liam Gallagher.
Yeah. He would probably lock me in my locker.
The Rumble. Here we go.
He was a
Well,
trouble.
I'm seeing a Big Bang Theory moment. I'm having a Big Bang Theory moment where he stuffed you in your fucking locker there.
Yeah.
Every day for
right?
3 years.
And then,
Every day for 3 years.
after 30, 40 years of pain and suffering, John Blakemore has now kicked Mr. Liam Gallagher in the pee-pee.
I must admit,
Who knew?
I did support them though, because I did still go and see them a couple times in concert, and they are great experts. Like you see him now, like he's been on a lot of headlines lately because he's been the bad boy, you know. But you know,
But he's still a prick.
there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No.
the vocals are there, and that's
Still
what it's all
prick.
about. you
No,
know?
exactly. No, he's a phenomenal vocalist, and I don't think anyone had any illusions that he was like, you know, a nice guy to be around.
He's a prick.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna. I have tickets to Oshiaga, and he happens to be playing the same night that Arcade Fire is playing. In fact, he's playing right before them. But I'm not gonna skip the show because he's playing. I'll go and support him because he's there.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna miss out on Arcade Fire. You know?
There you go.
Listen,
Do what you gotta
I'm
do.
sorry to say it, okay? I am sorry to say I know you love them a lot or whatever, but to me they're just an oasis, which is not real. Okay, that one went over everybody's head.
Thank God for doing job.
Yes, thank God. Thank God. Oasis, get it? An oasis.
So Kim, I want to ask
Oasis in the
a
desert.
personal question, if I may.
You may.
Oh no.
You brought it up earlier with regards to your upbringing. So at this point, our family very much so behind what you do, musically speaking.
I mean, yeah, people have gotten used to it. It's been my whole life now. I think, yeah, I think no one really I always wanted to be an artist, you know, not just a musician. I like photography and I do all kinds of things, you know, and so I always was sort of doing that. So I don't think anyone was surprised. But like everything, I think people just thought it would be like a phase, you know.
Right.
People just are like, well, do you make any money? That's just, you know, that's the question. So, you know, anytime I like get a big paycheck, I have to be sure to be like, yeah, this is good. This is good. You know,
I used to do
like,
the same thing, Kim. I'd
yeah.
be like, I'd get like the one check. We had a song that was licensed to be played on a Fox Network TV show.
All right.
Awesome.
So we got like an actual check for the royalty for that when they aired
Yes.
the show, and I remember being
Yeah.
like, "Look, I made some money
Yeah.
one time, one time."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think now that my
That's it.
family realizes I'm not like starving to death in the gutter, you know, they're
Right.
like fine with it. But
Yeah,
I think people
yeah.
just don't. A lot of people that are kind of like more sheltered or of different generation came up differently just don't really understand. It's hard for them to understand and don't expect people to. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
So
asked that because
it's kind of tough.
you don't hear it as often, Kim, about as you would say, and they're about somebody being brought up with regards to not having television and so on and so forth. So it's not a common thing that you hear as much. I thought, as I say, I was born kind of in Ontario before my dad passed away when I was 9, but my upbringing was Prince Edward Island. So I kind of went from riding my banana bike around the malls of Toronto rather, to Little House on the Prairie. So I never thought that. Well, we didn't have indoor plumbing, so I can
Right.
relate to kind of what you're saying to a degree in regards to it was now this old-fashioned upbringing that, and that's why I say about it being kind of rebellious because, well, if you listen to that rock and roll, you're going to go to hell.
Yeah.
So
Well, I was
said, oh yeah,
rebellious in a lot of worse ways than the music. So I think
yeah,
people were like more worried. I was gay and like that wasn't okay. And I,
so,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
also I was gay, but I was also like kind of a tomboy, and I didn't believe in God. That's pretty bad. Like so that's a pretty big one. So I had a lot of other things people needed to work through before they were able to get mad about the music
Sure.
thing. So
Yeah.
I mean I will say it's like I have come a long way with my mom. My dad was a pastor and he sucked and we never got along and we didn't speak for many years, but he's passed on now. And since that's happened, it's kind of opened the door a little bit more to start to have a relationship with my mother, which has been pretty nice. So yeah, things come around in their own time. And
yeah.
I think at the end of the day, you are who you are. You can't change it. You can't force yourself to be someone you're not. And eventually people will either accept you for that or not.
Well, see, that's the
Nothing to
problem.
do.
It seems somebody might have forced the religion on you, forced this on you, the fact that
Exactly. Yeah.
hey, whatever. It is what it is. I get it. You know what I mean? But I can tell you one thing. God still loves you for who you are. It doesn't matter if you're gay, you're straight, you're this or whatever. God still loves you, man. And it's about you making a personal relationship with him. Nothing else than that. And everybody else, whatever their opinion in, has nothing to do with you and him. That's it. That's the way I feel in my life. Everybody, because I'm Christian, people look at me and they go, "You're Christian?" or whatever. Like you do so many different things. And I was like, yeah, I'm Christian, but God accepts me for who I am and what I am. And that's it. And if he doesn't, why would I want to worship a God like that?
Oh, we love you, Bling. We love you, Bling.
No, but
that's just it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's sad to hear that, like you were pushed down and all that stuff. And, that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not what
I mean, I think
religion and
there's
everything's
room
about.
for
People
everything.
turn it
You know
off,
what I mean? So.
because we
Yeah.
all
Well,
have
that's why,
that-
Kim, that's why I asked
hope
that
you're
now
fine.
because of there's been many, and we even know of like say famous people to a degree here that have had reasonings of why they would end up on the path that they are and so on. But like I say, you don't hear other than say. Comes to mind Dolly Parton. They didn't have any hydro in her coat of many colors type of story.
yeah.
So it's that's why I asked that question, Kim. So it's
Totally,
nice
yeah.
that we've come now to let's call it a full circle, and things are going very, very well for you. So what I'd like to let the audience know at this point as well is how they can get a hold of you guys with regards to your music, your web pages and Facebook, and whatever way that they can reach We Should Have Been Plumbers without needing a plumber.
No need. Don't call that number. Don't call that first Google number.
Yeah.
You won't reach it. You won't reach us. I think the best way to find us is if you have an Instagram account. It's just We Should Have Been Plumbers. So at We Should Have Been Plumbers. If you hit the link there, you'll see links to all the streaming services and our videos and things. Otherwise, we should have been plumbers.com will take you to our Bandcamp and kind of all the links again to streaming and different things are there. So yeah, it's pretty easy. Or just the second thing on Google. Just Google us.
There you go.
Well, it's actually second, third, fourth, and fifth, but yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
So I guess
Now,
that's what
my
the
last two questions.
Sorry, Blaine, go ahead.
Sorry, my last two questions are for you. Are these two? Number one, okay, we all know where you've been and all this stuff, and you're focused on the music. What is your plans for the future with the band? And the second question, of course, is one of my favorites. I pop up every show. Greatest rock and roll moment.
Like greatest rock and
Did you catch
roll
that?
moment ever, or greatest rock and roll moment?
Yeah, well,
or...
basically everybody's had a great rock and roll moment in their musical history or whatever. You either met someone or just something really
Right.
funny happened on a
Okay.
show or back.
I like that
door
question.
I
That's
like
a cool
that
question.
Yeah. So it's for the both of you. And
Do you
the
want to
other
go
one
first,
is
Kim, or how
where
do
you
you
guys
want
are
to do
going.
it?
Sorry, what was the first question again? What's the future? Okay.
Yeah. The future of the band. Hey, you
yeah,
want some of
exactly.
this?
Good luck me remembering my finest rock and roll moment.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be just working on some new songs during sort of the summer here, and then in the fall, Jill's gonna make her way back down here, and we have a festival here called Nova Scotia Music Week, where we all go to like a small town in Nova Scotia, all kinds of artists and bands, and do a few days of a festival. It's always a great time. It's just such a real, like we were talking about, it's a really close-knit community, and we just have a fucking blast every year. And so that we're gonna play a show, and we got some friends kind of lined up to back us up, and so that we're looking forward to that. That'll probably be our first live performance, which will be exciting. And then hopefully also do maybe a show in Halifax at the same time. So that's kind of like what's going on. I mean, I think because this is a songwriting project at heart, I think we're going to focus mostly on just on writing and keeping that
songs
going, and just see where that leads us, and
wherever it goes from there. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. And then if the state of the world, who knows what's going on, but if we do get some more opportunities for shows and stuff, we'll certainly take them and consider all the options. But I think the nature of this is us kind of being friends and doing and writing songs, even though we're not in the same place.
Totally.
Okay. And by the way, just to correct you, it's not coming down here because she's in the States now. It's going up.
Sorry.
Hey.
My apologies.
I had the same thought.
We're so northern.
I had the same thought, Bling, but I didn't want to criticize her. So I mean,
Mom turned around.
So Kim, do you remember your rock moment, or do you need time to think?
I think you need to tell yours.
Okay, I'll tell mine.
Okay.
My greatest rock moment that I remember was, as you said, meeting somebody. So I grew up listening to Hole. Do you know Hole? Courtney Love?
Yep, very much. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And in her band, when I told you I played bass for the largest chunk of the first of my life, and my favorite bassist was Melissa Oftemore, who's actually from Montreal. She's a Canadian musician, and once she it was during a time around 2001, probably, when Hole was still really big, but they weren't playing at that time. They were between tours, and she had a solo project that she made with Josh Ohm from Queens of the Stone Age. So she was touring her solo band that was called Oftemore, and her as a front person was incredible. It was just like as if I loved her before as a bassist, as a front person, I was floored. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she played this show in Fredericton at the University of New Brunswick, Fredericton campus. And she actually opened for Matt Good. That's what the show was. And after her set, she was standing at a table and just signing autographs of people buying merch and stuff. And I was standing on the other side of the room staring at her like a creep because I was so afraid to go talk to her. And I was like, I can't believe that the bassist from Hole is standing right across the room. And my best friend was like, Jill, go talk to her. So I walked up to her. And as soon as I walked up to her, she looked at me and she was like, I was wondering if you were ever going to come over. And I was like, oh. Yeah, she like noticed that I was creeping, I guess. And then she spoke to me and she asked me like about like, do I play music or whatever? And she talked to me for probably like 15 minutes. And I remember every word of that conversation. And I told her I played bass and she leaned over into my ear because it was loud because Matt Good was playing their set at that time. So she was like against my head, her big, long, flowing red hair. And I was just like, I can't believe that this is happening. And she just basically was like, listen, like, you need to keep doing it. She's like, we don't, like what you guys were talking about earlier. She was talking about women and music. And she's like, please don't stop doing what you're doing. Start your band, do whatever you're going to do. And just basically gave me this like young kid pep talk. Like I was a young kid musician and I was completely enamored and she inspired me and actually took the time to speak to me. So that's like definitely my greatest rock moment of like meeting somebody sort of thing.
It's a good one.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. It was so cool.
That's it.
It's very cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole staring across the room. Yeah, that would have been a little bit creepy for me too.
I don't deny that I was being a creep.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I remember. It brings back memories to like back in the days when I had those starstruck moments or whatever. And then once you get into radio and you've done a few interviews and Junior, the novelty just kind of wears off and you just realize everybody's human beings and stuff. And it was great that she inspired you like that or whatever and took the moment. Yeah, because she's human. She may be been larger in life at that time or whatever, but she was humble, which is really nice. So Kim.
It
is your turn, Kim.
It's my turn. I don't know. One I can remember. One time, a few years back.
Just one time with Lemmy.
Just one time, yeah. We were playing a festival also in New Brunswick. All our moments happen in New Brunswick, I guess. I think it was in Moncton. They did what used to do this festival called Mud City Meltdown. And we were playing, and we weren't direct support, but I think it was like us and then somebody and then the Headstones. And we were playing, and it was like, one of those situations where it's like still fucking bright out, you're playing and you just like look out into the audience and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Hugh Dillon. Like, that's crazy. That's cool. He's like standing there, in his hat with his hat down. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's really cool that he came out and like saw the opening acts. You know what I mean? Didn't think much of it. Get off stage. He just like he comes and he finds us and he's like, he loved the show and he was being so nice and he's like one of those guys, he's like really larger than life. He's so intense, like he is the most intense guy and he's just so passionate and just an amazing human being. Anyway, he gets us back we're staying at the same hotel. We get back to this hotel. He's like talking to us in the parking lot. He's like, listen, he was like, I have to go on this tour with Biff Naked. Biff is opening. He's like, but I'm going to call them. I'm call them right now. I'm texting you right now. I'm going to kick her off the tour so that you can open for me. And we were like, what are you talking about? And he's like, nope. He's like, this is it. He's like, I'm on thing. He's like on the phone. He's just like manically like going. I mean, this is well after his drug days. You know what I mean? This is just him. This is like truest form. And he's just like trying to kick Biff Naked off of a tour with him so that Like Motorcycle can like go and open for him on this show. And it was, of course it didn't happen. But we did end up touring with them later on. But it was like it was the funniest way to meet someone, who I like the Headstones. I touring with them is amazing. They're just he's such a great front man. You know what I mean? If you want to learn something about singing and how to take care of your voice and everything, go to a few of his shows. He's incredible. But yeah, that was a larger than life moment I'll never forget. Just such a cool guy to see something like it and then be like, he was like, and I'm going to produce your record and blah, blah. And he was just like so into it. Anyway, I mean, we've been great friends ever since, but yeah, it's a funny story.
Can I just very quickly?
Well, it's a good thing you changed the name of the band. Yeah, because if Biff Naked ever runs into you, you won't get that, oh, you're the bitch.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Right?
It didn't happen. No. You know, they
Good,
got
yeah,
managers
good.
and contracts
So-
and shit for that kind of stuff. That's
We're
not,
good to wrap.
we're not wheeling
Yeah,
and
yeah.
dealing in parking lots anymore. You know what I mean?
It's true. This is true.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, go ahead. You said you wanted.
No,
to
no,
introduce-
no. That's okay. I'm good. I'm good. That's okay.
Oh,
Or you were on the same page?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's good to see, like Melissa. Yeah, she was. I saw her with Hole, and then it was funny because I went. A friend of mine had won tickets from one of our stations here in Montreal to. I think it was 3 or 4 years later to see the Pumpkins, Smashing Pumpkins, and I'm there. Okay, I'm there. What in the heck? That's Melissa. What
Yeah.
in the heck is she doing?
I saw her with them too.
I saw her, and she was both. I find my personal feeling of Melissa. She was better with the Pumpkins than she was with Hole.
She was amazing with the
She seemed
Pumpkins.
to be out there,
Yeah.
and she seemed to be herself. You know.
Yep, I totally agree. Yeah.
And I was thinking of, you know, if the Smashing Pumpkins do record another album, you can guarantee she's going to be on there.
I think so. I mean, they have paths right now, I think, but yeah, it's
well, they're having a little bit of issues. I think, you know, like every band suffered because of this pandemic, and to come back from it, it's hard. It's either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. You know.
yeah.
And
Listen, I've had issues with them. I've had issues with them for years. I mean, I bought a concert ticket, went to go see them, and not once did they ever smash a pumpkin. I was just so disappointed, man.
I loved them. I saw them like 3-4 times, and I loved every show. So you can go and smash your own pumpkin. They're just gonna. I found them to be a group that, personally, when you paid for their show, they gave you 100% and more.
Yeah.
Billy was crazy.
Billy Corgan, yeah.
Billy Corgan.
You know what's freaky is I love Billy with his bald head and all that stuff, but if you ever look back at his freaky days when he had hair, it's weird, isn't it? So different, man. Like it's usually, you know, like that subtlety. You know, somebody could have hair and then go bald or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, that's cool and so on. But him, it's like freakishly totally different. He looks like two totally different people. That's for sure. Oh, okay. Let's get back to this interview. Are these girls having a good time? Come on, let's raise our hands in the air. Tell them what they won, Bob. Well, you have won yourself a wonderful stick of spearmint gum. Yeah. Do not use it all in the same place. Also, our wonderful sponsor this week, Ick Me Off Pimple Pads. Got that zit you're just trying to get rid of? Ick Me Off Pimple Pads. And, of course, our new sponsor, LostDentures.com. Lost your dentures? LostDentures.com.
Yeah, the only thing I have to say is that when you do, this album does come out and it does get released, shoot us an email.
Oh, we'll do.
We will definitely
we'll be there supporting you all the way. We're in your park now.
Yeah, we would like to definitely drop that record right here on Indie Rock.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's the support that you get.
Part of the thing about coming onto this show, hey John, part of the thing about coming onto the show is you become part of our IndieRockRadio.ca family, and trust me, we will do everything. Well, every step of the way from this point, we will be there in the corners going.
Yes. We love that.
You know?
We love that.
And we want to be part of every single piece of your growth from here throughout your career. And always know that you got a home over here with Bling and Junior and John and the rest of all our DJs.
Make your way to Montreal. We would definitely be out there to support you.
Montreal is our meeting place.
Yeah.
So.
That is where we meet.
Montreal is definitely a place that's happening. And there's a lot of places you could get into.
Well, but hang on, though. Wait
Just
a minute.
make sure.
What did Bling say earlier, ladies? Apparently, you can't meet there now because you can't speak fucking English.
That's true. Yeah, gotta brush up on the
Pardon?
French.
Est-ce que tu parles français très bien? No, fuck off.
That's
what you know, that's what it'd be like now. And it's like horrible. Where goes tourism?
We'll just see how far it gets him with his little garbage he's playing.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If Legault listens to the show, he's not going to like me too much.
Well, I can tell you right now, he can suck it.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you
it.
know
Bend
what?
over, man. Look, oh, we got something for you over here.
Yeah, he definitely has got the Constitution, as you made the latest that seems to be eating the airwaves.
Oh, it's an
lately.
infringement on human rights. It's a
No,
violation, man. It's
he
very
got the
condescending.
permission from Prime Minister Trudeau to change the Canadian
Oh,
Constitution.
surprise.
So he did.
Oh,
Okay.
surprise.
So he changed
Surprise.
the Canadian
You see-
Constitution to accept this bill. But you know what? Quebec is one of the 5 provinces that never signed the Constitution. So they're not part of the Canadian Constitution because they never signed it.
Well, anyways, regardless, I you know what? People are putting the middle finger up to it over here. Anyhow, I haven't seen much yet. Although I did go into a hardware store, Home Depot, recently. I will not mention the store. I will not mention the lady, but I will tell you about the lady who was pretty much all smiles and smirks because I was talking to her in English and she was responding back in French. Yeah, we get that sometimes over here. And she was all, smiles and smirks or whatever. It's like, I don't have to talk to you in English no more, fucker. It's in all 32. Fuck you. You know, every single thing she said to me in French as she responded felt like a fuck you. Pretty much. So, you know, but I'm used to it. You know, you grew up in this province. It is what it is. I mean, girls, you've been to Montreal. You experienced it too.
We've spent a lot of time there, driving through Quebec.
Something.
Yeah.
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 So believe it or not, though, it's just we were talking about smaller towns, Junior? Going to Moncton, places like New Brunswick, Newfoundland, all that stuff. Over there, when you get outside the city, the humbleness of the people, or whatever, it doesn't matter if you're in the row. They're happy to see someone come through or whatever town because they've been sitting at that Oasis gas station for God knows how long, waiting for about 2 days for someone to come buy some gas. But no, I'm just saying that you really don't deal with the bullshit outside the city. Real true Quebecers and stuff across this province, if you go into the smaller towns, there's no language barrier, things like that. They're not rude. They know you're from the States or they know you're from somewhere else in Canada. They're going to talk back if they possibly can, or at least try to. And that's where the fine line respect happens here in this province, is that people give that respect. Me, I was born Acadian. I can speak French, so I don't speak perfect French like, Legault wants me to, but I speak enough that when I do, I get respect from the other person and they will then respond back to me. It's always been that balance, You speak, attempt to help speak their language, the respect comes back and they speak your language back. And that's the way it should be.
Oh,
That's all I got to
Westy,
say about that. Pull my finger, I'm done.
So, ladies,
Oh, by the way,
on a
girls, have
different
you
note,
seen my fancy T-shirt? Hey, you read this?
okay, stupid.
There you go.
Is not here. It says is not an alignment. We all meet on intellectual levels, don't we? So it's probably going to hit you like right after the show. It's like, oh yeah, that was a cool T-shirt, man. I like wearing it into places where chaotic stupid people exist. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, since
You've
you
got the hell in
brought
the
it up
handbasket
earlier,
now.
Julian,
Yeah.
we are into it's a year now.
Oh,
Mm.
cool. Nice.
Nice. Very cool.
So just 20 minutes from my place is the last place that the Rolling Stones had played with Glorious Sons.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we
you
know.
guys heard about that big show the last time they were in Canada?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
The
that was
one
a
where I
blast.
did background vocals.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
one. And your name.
And did you
your-
also know, girls? I was the fifth Beatle. I really was.
It's very
Check
good.
it back. You'll see. Fifth Beatle bling.
In my notes, I wanted to ask also this before I forget, ladies. And how long ago was this? Is the song "Where's the Dough"?
Oh wow, that's an old one. That's an OG. That was actually, yeah,
I do my homework.
yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, you did.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I love that song. I still love that song.
So tell me about the song.
I mean, we just didn't have any money,
Yeah.
and we were writing a lot of what we wrote for a really long time. And even after I left the band, and Kim continued to write with newer members and stuff, like there's a lot of songs that are about being broke, like you know, and that's it. Like we were poor artists, and we like to sing about it.
In particular, though, there's a documentary called Dig, a documentary about the Dandy Warhols and the Brian Jonestown massacre. And there's a scene in that where the tambourine player from the Brian Jonestown massacre, I think it was him, one of them. Anyway, they're basically the Dandy Warhols come into the Brian Jonestown massacre house to like do a photo shoot, and they're kind of like pissed off because they're like, you're just coming in here pretending like you're living this life and you're not. And the one guy turns to the camera and goes, "Where's the dough? Where's the dough?" Because they wanted to get paid for them using their house, and that's where that line came from. But yeah, the essence of the song is just
bunch of Dandy Warhols.
The second one I found, I didn't know if this was maybe a maritime influence. "Curse Me That Lonely."
Sorry. Oh,
Is it "Cursed Me at that"? That's why I'm saying it seems like it's a maritime song.
Cured me of that.
Cured me of that lonely.
It was
cured me of that. I don't know.
Yeah, the song name. You're mixing two songs together. There's "Sad and Lonely" and then "Cured Me of That."
Yeah.
And "Cured Me of That" is just us writing it the way that we say it phonetically.
Yeah.
All right.
Cure me of that.
Well, it's because down east you'll be familiar with they say things like, "Well, who's your father?"
Yeah, exactly.
Your father.
Yeah.
So, and then the other example is a lot of you guys know if they're from Prince Edward Island, because they have a habit of not only "who's your father," but they do this. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's actually a local brewery here that has a Pilsner out right now that's called the Inhaled Infirmative. And then all over the can, it's got yeah. But it's a very inside joke. No one that doesn't live in the Maritimes, everyone's like, "What? I don't get it."
Yeah.
It's like,
By the way, do you guys
affirmative?
Okay, do you know a lot about like Newfoundland history type of thing?
No, won't even pretend
really
to.
deep back, like, so you wouldn't know, like, if I asked you like the first Newfoundlander to ever come to Montreal. Is it true that when he saw the sign said Montreal left, he turned back?
Oh, come on.
Sorry, I don't know what it is, eh?
I gotta go.
Montrealers. It's like Winnipeg has they make jokes about Pakistanians over here in Montreal for many, many years. I don't know why I grew up into this era or whatever, but they always had Newfoundlander jokes. I don't know why that is, because all the Newfoundlanders I've met are pretty intelligent and cool people. You know what I mean? But for some reason, there's always Newfoundlander jokes. Yeah.
Halifax is quite a ways from Newfoundland.
Yeah. Well, she said she was originally from Newfoundland at the beginning.
Yeah, my mom from
I listen to
From
things
the rock.
too.
From
Some
the
there
rock.
in the head of the life there, I listen to the thing from the rock.
From
the
the rock.
Sometimes it bleeds the truth of the life. You know, that's it.
That's it.
It's beautiful. Yeah. See, I'm sure you heard people talk like that too over here, right? Yeah, I'm sure. Anyways, on that note, thank you very much for coming on down here tonight. We want to thank you on behalf of
it's been a
myself
pleasure.
And Junior.
Yeah, great to meet you all.
And you're definitely welcome back anytime.
Right.
Soon.
We would love to.
I hope you had
send an email.
I hope you had a good time. That's it. Well, John's the guy who takes care of that stuff or whatever. He's our little producer here. Yeah, that's it. I've been trying to get him in a skirt, just ain't happening.
No, thank you.
Although he's willing to wear a kilt, he'll wear a kilt.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
He'll wear a kilt.
He's halfway there.
Yeah.
For my Scottish,
Which they don't
people,
know is a skirt anyhow. But
Yeah, but it's come on, it's a tartan, okay?
yeah.
All right.
Any
Well,
final words,
amazing.
Junior?
Yeah, I was just going to say there, so making a point, Sean McKenna is, he's, like I say, out of Halifax, every Barstools and Band Talk and Rim Shots. If you're on Facebook, so we could get you on his show for some exposure down that way. I'm kind of surprised you don't know his name because he's been doing a lot through all of this COVID.
yeah.
I cannot
honestly. I'll be real. I think we just run with different crowds. That's all. I think that's just the truth of it.
Yeah,
but I
but
have heard of his show though. I have seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's, anyway, well, what I'm getting at, it's all about giving the band exposure and whatnot. I cannot
Absolutely,
recall.
yeah.
She's a very well-known singer in Halifax that he works with, Michelle something or other as well. But outside of that, yeah, it's been great to have you on. And as I was saying when we first were opening with our the start of the interview, that's who I am. It's great to support, and of course, it's funny and no surprise in a way there, Kim, that a lot of the Maritimers would end up kind of coming this way and so on, and yet we all end up being back to the family thing. So I wish you all the best in your next projects coming up. If you're ever coming Ontario way, by all means, let me know. And these guys here are more in charge of. I don't want any. Pardon me, guys, but I don't want anything to fucking do with the music. They're in charge of all that, John and Bling. So talk to those guys about that. But anything my way would be a pleasure. That if I can assist in anything in the Ontario aspect, then please. Hit me up and we'll see if we can't get you on a couple of shows when you're in Ontario.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you so much.
That's so nice, Junior.
So kind. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. This has been great. Yeah. Until next time.
Hey, for sure. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an amazing interview here tonight with We Should Have Been Plumbers. And if you haven't figured out why they should have been plumbers by now,
don't worry
you're
about
still
it.
going to have to do some research. Google it. It's the second option. That's it. All righty. So we got look forward to it. And like I said, if you got some new music and stuff coming up, you know who to send it to. Our man over here. Folks, if you are interested in getting on here like the girls and jumping on board here with Bling and Junior and all the chaotic nonsense that goes on here, hey, Junior. Anyways, most of it's from me anyhow, but that's it. Pull my finger. Anyways, all you got to do is just simply send us an email at music@indierockradio.ca. We also have an email for the show, which is indiescene@indierockradio.ca also, which I never really checked. We might have hundreds in there or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's good to mention it first. Who knows? I'm getting tired now. So anyways, this is what happens when you work long hours and do radio, So anyways, that's it. Music@indierockradio.ca. If you want to submit some music and you want to be a guest on this show, that is the proper route. As you know, Christianity, they say it's directly through Jesus. Well, through this show, it's music@indierockradio.ca. That will get you to heaven over here on the station and on this show. So make sure you send us off an email. Send us it by MP3 directly. No second party accounts like GarageBand and things like that, or Spotify. We ain't doing the freaking work, okay? We got hundreds of submissions every week, and it's a lot of extra work for nothing. So that's it. Everybody's got to do their part, man. What else did I forget? Oh, yeah. Next week. Is it next week? We have Run the Red, John.
I will tell you right away. Yes, next week, the 16th, is Run the Red Light.
And by the way, folks, this is a band that I have known for many years out of Vancouver, and they were known as another name prior to that, and they've been, as long as this show has been hitting the airways or whatever, I think they are probably 20 years part of it, and amazing band. We played their music all over the radio station, and they've been sitting on the hiatus because of this. Some people have been creative throughout this process, and some people have just like taken on, okay, we're just relaxed now. We're not sure where we're going. And so John sent out, it was funny. We sent out an invite for an interview, and he was like, oh, well, we're not doing anything right now. We're going to just wait. And these guys are freaking phenomenal, right? So I told him, I said, John, tell him Bling is asking. And John, what happened? The response came back quite quickly. Oh, okay, no problem. We'll be there, and so on and so on, because they know the Blinksters got their back on this one. So, Run the Red Light will be our guest on the show next week, and of course, thank you, girls, once again for coming on down to the show here tonight. You're part of the family. You're our new Indigo girls. That's right. But you should have been plumbers. And Canadian pride is what it's truly all about. So you go out there and you fluff your tail feathers and show us proud. That's for sure. And looking forward to. You guys gonna have any shows here in Montreal soon or what?
We'll tell you if it's gonna happen. We'll tell you.
You'll be the first to know.
Oh well, you know me and John will be there with our big yellow canary shirts. Hey, John. Yes, banging. John, that's the most glorious part when you're doing your show. You're going to see John head banging on your stage with no hair. Show him, John. Show him.
It's good.
Hey?
That's good.
I was going, first time I saw him doing it, I said, John, what the fuck are you doing? Right? It was like, hey, banging. I said, John, you're not even drinking. You don't do drugs. I says, you're banging your head around with no hair. He's like, I love it. Yeah. So he was all into it, and that's why I love going to concerts with him. So be sure to see us at one of your shows coming up soon.
Love it.
And in
Looking
Ontario,
you
you got junior support, and you got junior support in Ontario. He'll definitely be at the shows. Oh, there you go, John. Hey, you willing to lend some of that hair to John there, Junior?
Sure, yeah. I was going to say, because you brought it up earlier, one of the 3 shows that I move yachts in the daytime for my day job, ladies.
Amazing.
So I have 3 shows I can't get to because of my job. So April Wine, Big Sugar, and the other is Melissa Etheridge. So if you guys were here, I'd give you my passes. But so we'll let you go. It's such a pleasure talking with you and whatnot. And we'll talk more down the road. And do take care of yourselves very much so.
You too. It's so nice to meet you guys.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Bye.
All right, folks. You have been tuned to Indie Scene here with Bling. Oh, wait. How long more do we got left in the show here? We still got another 20 minutes. Yep. Or do we? Or should we just play some music?
It's only 8:20. So let's do this. I'm actually waiting on a call. She brought up Mitch Perry. I'm trying to arrange for him to come on the show. That's the Cher's guitar player. So he's supposed to be calling me here as well. Can we play a couple of those tunes from the girls there just to kill some time here?
Play those videos again. Okay.
Yeah, would that be all right?
Yeah, definitely. And we'll be back at you in just a couple of minutes, and we'll let you know what's going on in the scene with the Jelly Bean. Bling, bling, bling. And Junior and John. And we'll be right back at you in just a couple of minutes. I need to go splash some water on my face because I'm sounding like a total dickhead. All right. Here we go. Let's get this going. That's it. This is when you get silly radio happening, when you're super tired. Okay, Here we go. And we'll start off with the same video we started off with at the beginning, which I think is a remake. And we'll play this for you right now here on IndieRockRadio.ca.
I may run and hide when you're screaming my name, but let me tell you now, there are prices to fame. All you people, can't you see how your love's affecting our reality? Every time we're down, you can make it right. That makes you larger than life. Looking at the crowd, I see your body sway. Wishing I could thank you in a different way. All you people, can't you see
Broadcasting from a little island in Canada called Montreal to the world in the rockradio.ca.
I like to rock.
Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go, folks. A little bit of Playhouse for you and a song called The Storm, which is just ripping up the airwaves all over the internet. These guys are doing really well with that album. Just before that, bringing you back to a band that is no longer together, but there is some rumors of a reunion show coming up. And if you notice very clearly, they're called Sign of One. Amazing band. They were previous guests on indie scene. But the drummer of the band is also the drummer of Jason Rockman's band, and Kevin Jardin, who produced the album for that. So that's how I flowed that in. His name's Pete. And he is the drummer of the Slaves on Dope. Slaves on Dope. Okay. And so that's where that affiliation comes in. And just before that, we had, of course, our guest tonight, We Should Have Been Plumbers, and a cool little track from them. You're tuned to Indie Scene with Bling and Junior. And Junior, man, you're back. Got all your phone calls done.
You asked me last show or last time we were on, but anyway, about Playhouse, about the reviews. So I've got some insight in regards to them playing at the Rock Pile, and the boys kicked some ass there. So that's nice to hear.
Oh, definitely. I you know what? I've never seen Peter as nervous as he was just before he played that place. He's never reached out. Yeah, he was like literally texting out to people going, man, I'm getting the jitters. I don't know why. And as people were talking about, his fans are so, Playhouse has been around for over 30 years, and their fans are so solid with them and very personalized with their audience and their fans. And you know what? They always reach out to them, and they're definitely a part of every show that they do. That's for sure.
I think I also Bling. I think they're either special guest or opening for Gilby Clark, Ottawa way, or somewhere.
Yep, they are.
So that's a nice lift for them.
Yeah, and they're playing a bunch of festivals around the Quebec area and stuff too. They said it on when I did the interview with Pete. He had told me that they were planning on doing close to like 50 shows this year, signing up with the new RFL label. A lot of bands have signed with them, and as you know, RFL also has Svengali is signed to that label also. It's a really cool indie label. They really support their artists a lot, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff for sure.
I had heard of RFL because we had Sean on. I'm bringing up Barstools and Band Talk again.
If
I'm saying this correctly, I think he's the Eastern kind of representative of RFL. When they interviewed me actually on the other simulcast, he brought up RFL. And since that time, I know of now it seems to be at least 6 or more artists that have signed on with RFL. So I've heard some good things about the company.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. As long as they treat their artists well and stuff, and do everything for them, that's pretty cool. The only thing I heard about them was that they wouldn't allow certain bands to. If you were under the RFL label, you had to be an RFL label candidate
artist
in order to back up the other band, or any shows they did. It was always RFL artists. And
I think that's kind of a good and bad thing in a way, though. Now that you say that, Bling, it kind of makes sense, but it might be challenging as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because the Darren Walsh band or whatever, who did a great job with their single launch and stuff, because recently they officially launched Playhouse, launched their full album. They had their record launch recently.
Yeah, I seen the posting.
So they've been getting a huge support. And it was just, I think they were a little disappointed. Darren was hoping to Walsh was hoping to jump on board with them still and do a few more shows, but the label kind of had control over that. But that's cool stuff. I mean, looking forward to this interview next week, man. Run the Red Light. This is going to be really. Have you heard some of their music on the station?
I have. I've had a chance to kind of catch up with some things. As I said, I've been kind of like you and a lot of people through all this time, kind of getting caught up with our lives. So I've been taking some time to kind of look more. Well, that's why today. No, it was 2 days ago with who we had on tonight. Like you, I wanted to make sure I did my show prep and finding out who they were. So it's kind of exciting and it's very refreshing. And I joke with you all the time about kissing ass. And did you pay them? Did you pay Bling to say that? I'm joking, but I'm very serious, Bling, and you must hear this yourself. Especially that you do more with the radio side of things as well. It's refreshing on the ear. It is. We're not hearing those same songs.
Isn't it great? We're doing this right now. Look, I've been doing the show for 35 years. We are at you're jumping in at a time. Yes, Junior, this is an incredible time because there's been so many times I could tell you where we've had bands on that sound like this one, that sound like that one, and so on. Like, for
Yes.
example, Sign of One is an amazing band, but of course, listen to
Right.
the lead singer, sounds like who? You know?
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? In fairness to that, and you are correct, okay. But in fairness to that, that's why that the selling market and why who are we talking? There you go. When we're talking to Darby Mills. So in that time, it was either the decision on her or Tiffany. The sound at the time was Tiffany.
Yeah.
You know, so and that's a good and bad thing. Why I say that is another famous example of it, and they're bling the amount of bands that come out of it. What I'm getting at is it's when the Eagles came out, it became that all these fake Canadian as well, so many, they wanted to have that Eagles sound.
That's it.
So this is why you were hearing all this 3 and 4 and 5 part harmonies and so on and so forth and all that. Who the hell? Oh, Chilliwack is an example, a Canadian band with regards to the popularity and the harmony. So it becomes that. So is it a trap? I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? While we brought up Tiffany, with all due respect to Darby, I have to tell you something. I've always wanted to snuggle in that chest. I'd be in heaven. Trust me. You know, you can take me to the shopping mall, do whatever she wants. I'll buy her cotton candy, motherfucker. I swear to God, Tiffany. Oh yes, squeeze me, hug me, do whatever you want. Definitely. So what I'm grasping on is that a lot of bands sounded like other bands, or that was a pushback then. It's like, oh yeah, these guys good. They sound like Soundgarden. They sound like this, or they sound like that. And nowadays, there's so many amazing artists coming out, and Junior, they got their own sound. They have influences, but they're not trying to sound like anybody else other than themselves or whatever. And to have that special creativity, where yes, we're on the edge of finding some really cool new stuff, is it's great to be a part of it still after all these years, man. And we'll do whatever we can here at the station, especially on the show, to do what we can to boast and promote great artists, whoever ever listening to the show and seeing this. We're here for you, man, big time. We always have been, always will be. And Junior, isn't it just great, man, to be a part of this? We feel like papas, though, eh? You know, when you see these artists, you interview them, you become good friends with them, you support their music and stuff, and then when you see them grow, it's like you're a proud dad going, my child's an honor roll student. But I'm not like that. I'm the guy who wears the bumper sticker and says, my son did your honor roll student. You know? So.
I had found similar to what we're talking about here, that it's funny, Bling, that we somewhat through certain times here are stuck in a genre of music, and then like the ladies brought up earlier, I'll be quite honest with you. I think there were 3 names that in that genre of music, I have no fucking idea who they are.
Yeah,
because through our time, people were so, and I'm not just saying it was classic rock, but because of now, I also find it, like I say, I think it's also difficult because, in a sense, because there's so much out there. So what are you grasping on? The demographics actually, Bling, are not of the music that we're talking about. It still is. There are more. I think it's like 25 to, I think they said 37. In population that are buying that, I guess we'll call it the dance track stuff to that we haven't got a clue who it is, type thing. But yet that's what's popular. But I don't.
Yeah, I know. That's it. It's gotta really take my ear away and stuff like that. That's why I was telling John, we get so many submissions for music, and not trying to be like all egotistical and stuck up or whatever, but. There is
no, but where do you categorize it? You're right, Blake. Where do you categorize it?
But that's not the only part. It's like sometimes bands will send us stuff, and you know what? I go back to the movie. You remember when they made the movie about Johnny Cash, and he was at the studios, and he looked at him, and he said, "No, just not. I don't believe you." He goes, "What do you mean you don't believe me? You don't believe I'm religious and I'm just," he says, "No, I don't believe you." In other words, You're telling me if this was the last day on earth and this is the last time you ever got to play, that's exactly how you would play and sing that song or whatever. And I get that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to give it your all every time. And we do get submissions where people will do some recordings, but you're like, why would you want to show the world who you are? Sure, your songs are great, but if your recording quality is off, you're giving out like half-ass shit work or whatever. Why would you do that? You're not respecting the fans. You know what I mean?
I haven't got time for that. No, I don't get it. So right. Well, you're right. Not just right, you are, and I love this line. You're not just right, you are correct. Okay. So to me, if you're going to put out something half-assed, then you're already showing you don't give a shit. Yeah. So who is going to care now?
Yeah, that's it. And we want to give the opportunity to the people who do work hard at their trade, work hard at their art and everything, and be proud of what it is. And we'll play it. You know what I mean? And also, it's about popularity of the station. You know what I mean? Our job as a radio person is to play as many tracks and to get you in this mode where literally you're listening to a track and you go, oh, that was great. And you enjoy it. You're going, oh, but I got stuff to do. And it's like, oh, not right away, because I like that track too, and we just got to continue. Yeah. We want to keep you on air as long as we possibly can, listening to it, or to the point where it's like, okay, I'll do what I got to do. I'll just leave the music on in the background or whatever because they're just playing some good shit. But we can't do that with somebody who's just gonna, half-ass it down the line or whatever. So there is an onus on the part of any sort of band who is doing their craft. It's not about being a Simon Cowell or anything like that. And by the way, I saw a video the other day of Simon Cowell singing. He's got an amazing voice, eh?
Have you ever heard him sing? No, I don't want to.
Oh man, I know. Listen, everybody thinks he's the bad guy.
I'll push the fucking buzzer.
I had so much respect for him because you know what? And I know the music business. It's never been a nice, soft, mushy. And the is when people lie to people. It's like the family and this and that. Oh, you're great. You're a great singer and this and that. And they keep fucking believing this. They get on stage and even you as a listener, we're not professional judges or whatever, but you sit there and you go, holy jeez, what the hell was that? Bang, she bangs. Oh, baby, she moves. I go crazy, Remember those days? I'm just saying, they got these shows.
No, you're right. I agree.
Everything's based on American Idol, but Simon was an honest person. That's what I liked about him, was that he delivered the truth. Like he even said to somebody one time, you can have the greatest voice, but there's looks that matter too, The world's cold.
I do agree with what you're saying. But in regards to what he has done, but I guess like everybody, when he becomes cruel to the people, that is. I just seen one the other day where actually the guy's aunt came out and said, "You've just been cruel to him because he, when you were saying you are the worst singer I've ever heard in my life and just totally demoralize a human being." That's not right.
Of course. I would just say get another job. Find another job because this is not your thing.
That's the only thing I don't. That's the only thing I don't like about him. Remember, he's the I forgot who they are because I wasn't into them. That all girls band. That's where he started. Who the hell were they again? The geez, I'm not into the music.
Indigo.
The what?
Indigo.
No. I can see all their faces and all that there. They come out there, but anyway. So so what he does, and the other thing too, I think too, is there's now, I don't know. I guess I just have to sort of state this and ask. I think there's too many of. There's The Voice, and there's one, American or Idol England, Idol fucking Japan, Idol whatever. But it's also. And you've seen this yourself, Bling. There's so much fucking talent. Yeah. Now that we have access to so much, I can't find the words. Are you going to be able to do something with it because of? I guess I'm saying I think it's harder now. I believe because of. to get yourself to be popular to whatever.
Yeah. You know, I was trying to, I was holding it in very, very much throughout the whole interview. As soon as and I'm sorry, I know we might disagree on this one, but when you brought up Cher, I'm sorry, I'm one of those people who've never thought she had any talent singing. She's gorgeous. She's could perform. She's always been a performer. She always upstaged Sonny, but Sonny was not that. He was pretty easy to upstage anyhow. But I call her the queen of the one. What is that effect they put on a voice that when somebody doesn't sing well, they just put this effect on because so when she came out with her little solo album and somebody said, I know how to fix Cher. They put that fucking effect on her. She's like, do you believe in love? It was like a wah wah on her. And I was like, okay, fine. But it brought me back the whole time I was sitting thinking in my head while you were asking questions. I'm sitting there thinking about this episode of Gordon Ramsay didn't only just do Hell's Kitchen and all that stuff, but he also did this thing called Hotel something or whatever, right? So he goes in to save this hotel, and this woman in this hotel is using this thing. She's invested all this money. It's in Florida or something. She's got all these guests and everything. The restaurant fills up. The food, like she's letting everything fucking go. But she will come out in the middle of the show, and she's a big Cher fan, and she puts a microphone out there, and she just goes out and hi. It's all about her and her personal failures of not becoming a singer or something. But she invested her money into this, so. She's singing. She's like, "Do you believe in love?" And she's doing that whole thing, right? No effect, by the way, just sounding the same way. And I understand. Gordon Ramsay was just sitting there appalled, right, looking at her. You know what? The best part, if you saw the episode, it was hilarious. He took her microphone and he put it in a bucket. And he put water and he froze it. It was in a block of fucking ice. He says, if you ever think about singing again, he says, get a fucking ice pick. Because it ain't happening.
And you know what's silly about that? I'm almost sure that was her biggest hit. That thing, that song sold huge.
That and the other one I think was kind of like a dedication to her and Sonny or whatever in their past or something. I forget the name of the track, but yeah,
I mean, there's a couple of songs. I think it's I
not too bad, but she's not the biggest star. Like, I loved her as an actress. Moonstruck. I loved the mother.
Yeah.
Right. There was a guy or something, and I think the mother asked him. It was supposed to be the boyfriend that she was dating before Nicolas Cage, like the real boyfriend. He comes over and she goes, why do women chase men?
Yes.
Right. And he goes, well, he starts talking about, how, God created woman and he took the womb away, womb out of a man to make woman and all that stuff. He says, for all these times, he says, man's been always chasing the woman to get that womb back or something. And I was like, what a concept, but yeah, man, it was a beautiful movie. It was a great movie.
What was that movie that she was? It was a fairly famous. I can't think it.
With the two daughters or something.
No, the one where Cher was a lawyer.
Oh, that one I know.
What was that called? It was so popular. I just can't get to it. But why I bring it up is a friend of mine, locally, actually, two things. He hung with David Carradine from Kung Fu, who used to live in Mississauga. But during this time, he became an extra in this movie that Cher was in. Oh my God, I can't think of what that movie is. It was so popular. She was a lawyer. But anyway, so he's telling me the story about being on the movie set because it was filmed in Toronto. And so what had happened is he walked in front of her.
Okay.
Which apparently was supposed to be part of the scene. It's a while ago since the story. I won't be bang on. But anyway, the next day he was fired for walking in front of Cher.
Oh, trust me, I can tell you some stories because the ex-wife's cousin was her cousin was a chauffeur bodyguard for movies. And I think I told you this story before about Bruce Willis, where he was on a movie set and he goes into the stage area. The main office trailer, and they have a piece of blank paper that's sitting on the wall. Okay, he goes,
right.
"What the hell? Why are you hanging up a blank white sheet of paper?" She goes, "No, that's Bruce Willis." He goes, "There's no Bruce Willis on here." So they start explaining. He says, "Here," and they hand him the letter. He sent a letter out to everybody on the set and said that they are not allowed to approach him, talk to him while he's on the set, or even come anywhere close to him. He was walking around with his bodyguards all the time. Right, and he says, I don't want that. And here is an autographed picture, right? Of me or whatever, and thank you very much for your support, but you can't even look at me. So the reason why they took the picture and put it around backwards on the wall, because they weren't allowed, they said we're not allowed to look at him. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, he's a little bit of a diva himself. There's some people who are like that on the set. And the funny thing is the movie he was filming was with Richard Gere or something like that, or one of the guys who played Pierce Bronson, I think it was, who was playing James Bond at one time. And he was just like laughing his ass off. He says, "This guy's a piece of fucking work." You know what I mean?
Yes,
there's no reason to be like that. Some of them are so humble. We have Paul Newman living up there.
I'll share the story when Ringo Starr played Casino Rama. It was highlighted, if you recall the story, that you are not allowed to make eye contact with Mr. Starr.
No.
So,
you will turn to stone.
Well, I wanted to be that smart ass and say, "What do you think you are, a fucking beetle?"
That's it, eh? Hey, or just walk by and nod your head and go, it's all your fault, Yoko. Still fucking mad at you, Yoko.
I'm only Ringo, I'm the drummer.
Yeah.
Shout out to our buddy Derek Baggs there from the psychedelic or the.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Derek.
Well, no, it's his birthday today, so I wanted to give him a shout out. Derek's a good guy. And plus, he cottages just down the road from me here, so we're going to be getting into some silliness there this summer.
A little bit. No, there we go. Oh, yeah.
And did you hear as well? Let me scroll this to make sure I can say this correctly, which I think this is fabulous, by the way, personally. So they're doing a benefit for the family, I take it, of Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters.
Okay.
Did you hear anything on that?
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
I got it sent to me, like I say, because some of the fortunate musicians in California, so he sent this to my phone. Yeah, so Taylor Hawkins tribute concerts. Foo Fighters and the Hawkins family present Taylor Hawkins tribute concert. The Foo Fighters, together with the Hawkins family, present the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert. Two global events celebrating the memory and music of a rock legend. So people should watch for that. And I think it's well deserving. And of course, you know what? And I'm going to say this. I don't give a shit. So what am I posting? How come there's always a fucking jackass? Pardon my French. So anyway, the remark is, "Oh, well, they should have checked him for all the fucking 10 drugs that he had in his system." Shut up. Leave him alone. The guy's
come on, man. I have to say something, man. Every single interview I've ever seen with this guy or anything, this guy was so loved and so well known by all musicians, and he was just a stand-up guy, man. Whether or not he did his look, they all fucking do drugs, they all do booze. It's been like that in the rock and roll business for years. You know what I mean? Has nothing to do with that. He was a young guy, amazing talent. We lost it, man. We lost that great talent. I mean, he played with Alanis Morissette at first.
Oh, so many.
He's played with so many different musicians, and so many drummers have come out and spoke up.
Spent a lot of time in Canada. People don't realize that. You may know that, right?
Yeah.
I think with Sash Jordan, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
No, he's worked with a few or whatever, and he's just an amazing, phenomenal musician, and it was a great loss, especially the Foo Fighters, which was a band that was derived from, of course, Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. So they already went through their trials and tribulations at first, and now for him, for David Grohl to lose another close friend like that or whatever, it's been tough on him. It really has, and we all know.
You can only imagine, eh?
Yeah.
Because I, like you, and a lot probably thinking about it. It's like he must feel like he's cursed or something. I mean, holy shit, eh?
He's gone through a tough time there, and I know he's
And
taking this one
have
super hard.
seen, I didn't bring it up when the girls were talking there, by the way, but I have seen nothing but phenomenal things that David Grohl has done for the public, people, blah, 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 blah. I've only seen one interview, and that's Courtney there, Kurt's former wife. She brought up the band, and she just fucking hates the fucker. She's suing him and blah, 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 that he's really, and people think he's all this, and when he's really a son of a bitch, when blah, blah, blah. And I just went,
because he knows secrets about her, I'm sure.
That's probably what it really
he knows some shit about her or whatever, and they probably, yeah. That's it. No, because we all know what.
The only time I've ever, well, you know what? I'm not into her music per se. Some of it's kind of cool, but anyway, the only time I really liked her is it was on the, it was either the Grammys or something. Anyway, because I'm not a fan. I'll tell you who I'm talking about in a second here. So this person's up there. She wasn't even supposed to be at this up there, but because she thinks she's that good, she decided to make an appearance. So who I'm talking about, and I really don't like her, and that is Madonna.
Okay.
So she makes her presence known up on this pedestal. You can probably find the video somewhere. Anyway, and of course she's acting like Madonna does, and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, Courtney shows up, and she's half in the bag.
No.
And if you could embarrass Madonna and made her look like a shithead, I did nothing but laugh. And of course, she walked away like she was royalty away from her. And I just kind of went, looks good on you. Well, I say this respectfully on two things. Number one, look at all she was, pardon my expression, when you're doing the things, I don't even want to use that, but what she was doing with a certain religious artifact on stage in her time and putting down religions and all that. And then to later, because she becomes a mother and sell books about children, books and all that. I say this, Madonna, and I hope you even hear me one day. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I have no time for it.
No, definitely.
No.
Madonna. Yeah, but both of them, I'm just not crazy about her, whatever. She, especially when she came out with the Material Girl, you know, we don't need women like that in our life who are just thinking about how much coin we can take out of our pocket and princess them up and all that shit. You know what? Get your own fucking job, bitch. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'll take you out to dinner. I'll pay dinner and stuff, but don't be expecting that I need to treat you like a fucking princess constantly.
Well, that's what I was
through that.
You're right. That's what I was about to say. Musically, look, we can't deny she's made her mark. But like I've said all along, why people have to carry on like the way they do sometimes. And there's more than one time. We can't just judge right away.
Listen, let's be honest.
There's too many.
Honest. It's called spin. You
Yeah.
know that. I know that. It's been a part of the radio, music industry, everything. Spin is what sells. So like I always say, if they're either, as long as they're talking about you, it doesn't matter if they're talking negative or if they're talking positive about you.
Yeah.
They're talking about you. So that's what spin's all about or whatever, you know. So they'll bring up anything they can. Don't believe all the hype and all the bullshit you see. I mean, look at Johnny Depp now, just over a freaking trial. And by the way, congrats. He won this thing, eh? Thank God. And on top of it, he fucking ruined her, man. He got some coin out of her ass or whatever, and you just look at her puss on her face when she was. And you know what she says after the trial? Somebody asked her to make a comment. She goes, "Well, hopefully I brought some awareness to all the abused women out there." Yeah. Okay. You shit on his bed, motherfucker. You shit on his bed. And you're sitting here getting abused to women.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. A woman shit on my bed while I was, my fucking right, man. I'd be rolling her around in the stuff. Oh, yeah, you like that, eh?
Yeah. When in the end, you know what's going to happen. That's why in all this, his next movie's going to sell like crazy.
Oh, yeah, totally. They were showing online today, something popped up and said Johnny Depp or whatever had to leave a hotel because the fans were just like overwhelming and he was all dismayed, like you're saying with the bodyguard. He's coming out, perfect picture, two big bodyguards, and he's like, all disgruntled, his hat's like all of his glasses are all bent down. Okay, get me out of here, Yeah. But he's coming out. Isn't it funny that he just finished his trial and all that stuff, and he's just today released his new album?
It's almost like it's on purpose.
With Jeff Beck. Yes. Yeah, it's like
I just seen a thing.
spin,
You know what?
buddy, spin.
It's funny you say that because I've said before that it's hard to put anybody in the category of the best. But just recently, I've come to and I'd like to think with all the phenomenal and famous guitar players that we grew up with, the most talked about really in his versatility and everything else is Jeff Beck.
Jeff Beck, totally. Yeah. You ever see the bassist he has that works with him?
Not Hendrix, not whoever. It's Jeff Beck.
Did you see the bassist he has working with him? This young girl. She's phenomenal, man. Amazing bassist, and she's young. I think she's not even 21 now or something. But when she started working with him, she was only like 13 years old working with Jeff.
Well, that's my point with all of them. When I did the Alice Cooper interview when I was at K-Rock in Alberta, that's where Orianti came from. That's who Richie Sambora is with. Have you Orianti? If you know of her. Yeah. So. Well, we're into a little bit after 9. Another fun night, Blink. So let's talk about next week. We've got some people coming on.
We got Run the Red Light coming in next week. And coming up right now, folks, we have got the show of popularity itself. By the way, get ready, sit down, Junior. You won't believe this, but John, last Friday with this show, The Valley, hit 1,700 listeners. Okay, 1,700 listeners, which is pretty freaking sweet, man, for a wonderful Christian show that we do called The Valley, and it's coming up next. John Blakemore and The Valley. So sit back, get ready, show. It's a wonderful
show.
Yeah. It's a great show. You know what I mean? That was my best impression. It's a really big shoe, right? Anyways, so stay tuned, folks. The Valley coming up, and of course, we got more great shows on the station. Check them out. You can go to our website for the schedule. Just click on schedule, and you'll find out all the sweet shows, especially this one, which will be repeated on Sunday night from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And but right now it is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday night, and. It's all fucked up, man. I just don't know. I don't know. We got people listening in from Indonesia, Philippines. They live in the future. We live in the past. I don't know what's going on. I'm just freaking out over here. I can't keep up. Junior, we'll see you all next week, man.
Peace out. Oh, I'm going to get Ann. She's going to have to ship me that so I can get my highlights done. Thank you, Ann.
Yeah,
talk to everybody next week.
and your sweetheart. And don't forget the vinegar. Yes. Don't forget the vinegar for Bling's douche. Oh, yeah. All right. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon, folks. Tune in next week, folks, where we'll be back at you with Run the Red Light here on Indie Scene with Bling and Junior. You're tuned to IndieRockRadio.ca. The Valley coming your way with John Blakemore.